After killing Chang Tian Immortal Monarch, Emo picked up his storage ring. After killing Chang Tian Immortal Monarch, Emo picked up his storage ring. Lu Jingquan didn't run nor leave. He just ate a few pills and looked at Emo with a bad face. It was like Chang Tian Immortal Monarch gave his storage ring to Emo. Emo killed Chang Tian Immortal Monarch too fast. It seems I need to give this Junzi Immortal King title to you. You're the real Junzi. Lu Jingquan sneered. Emo sneered. Lu Jingquan, I don't dare to take your Junzi Immortal King. I'm calculative to enemies but not friends. Meanwhile, you're probably very Junzi to both friends and enemies, right? Sect leader Luo, you know it's impossible to kill me. I'll admit defeat today, we'll end this here. You go your path, I'll go mine. Lu Jingquan said slowly. There wasn't any killing intent on him at all. Emo clapped his hand and said, Okay, we'll agree to that. Crack. As Emo's voice sounded, Zisu clashed with 7-star sword. Clearly the two thought the same thing and were going to ambush each other. In order to attack quickly, both of them didn't use God Art. The two swords clashed together in the void, creating waves of immortal essence ripple. It seems this Junzi title is indeed mine. Lu Jingquan sneered again. I never wanted your Junzi Immortal King title, Emo said, and then used Rainbow again. However, unlike when he attacked Chang Tian Immortal Monarch, he used full power this time. Seeing this, Lu Jingquan used 7-star sword again, but this time, he had 7 of them. Emo didn't expect that Lu Jingquan still had tricks up his sleeve. Only one was real, the rest were fakes. You only used 40% power when you fought with me in the tower and facing an immortal monarch. You dared to hide 20% of your strength. You really do need the title Junzi Immortal King. Lu Jingquan sneered and the 7-star sword spun rapidly, forming a sword formation. Emo looked at this sword formation in contempt. How dare this guy play with sword formation in front of him? Emo didn't even have the will to break this formation. Emo waved and a huge mountain fell above Lu Jingquan's head. It was no smaller than the seal Chang Tian Immortal Monarch used. This mountain gave Lu Jingquan an extremely strange feeling. It seemed to have crossed the void and fell down, but there was no tracks of it. The essence spirit next to Lu Jingquan couldn't resist spurting. Space Log God Art? Hearing this, Lu Jingquan didn't dare to be careless at all. He immediately used the 7-star sword formation to smash at World Rock. In the spur of the moment, he could only release an ordinary defense immortal artifact to block this rainbow. Dense clashing sounds occurred. Lu Jingquan's defense immortal artifact was immediately cut into pieces. Rainbow's sword ray shrunk and formed a purple beam smashing at Lu Jingquan. At this instant, a powerful domain appeared, instantly stopping Emo's rainbow. Lu Jingquan retreated crazily, but the beam still drew a long mark on his chest. While blood splurged out, the sword formation was smashed in the door by the World Rock. Crack, 6 swords shattered. Only the real one remained but was falling down wobbly. Lu Jingquan forcefully took it back. How could Lu Jingquan not know he was no match for Emo at all? Even if he was at his peak, he would need the essence spirit to help in beating Emo. Lu Jingquan wanted to run. But how could Emo let Lu Jingquan run? Countless lightning blasted in the void. Lightning sand instantly formed a huge black lightning spear with some gold color. The spear fell down, and the nearby void was instantly locked by the lightning spear. Kai Mi Qianbei, please help me! This huge golden lightning spear filled Lu Jingquan's heart with despair. He really couldn't understand how a mere immortal king primary stage was this powerful. Give me your body, otherwise I can't stop him too, the essence spirit said heavily. Lu Jingquan didn't expect Emo was this powerful. Even an immortal king might not be a match for Emo. He was suppressed by a cultivator who only ascended for a few decades. Seeing that the 7-star sword was about to clash with lightning spear, Lu Jingquan knew that if he didn't make a decision his essence spirit would be destroyed too. Thus, he could only let open his mind and let the essence spirit control his sea of consciousness and body. Rumble. The lightning spear hacked the 7-star sword and an explosion sounded. The sword flew out instantly. The lightning sword just eased and smashed at Lu Jingchuan again. The terrifying force swept past the entire void, causing ripples. This entire region of the void was under the force of the spear. Splurge. Blood and flesh flew, half of Lu Jingchuan's body exploded from the lightning spear. The spear pierced his body and went into the void. Yimo's eyes narrowed. He knew the power of lightning sand. It definitely wouldn't just tear open half the body and disappear into the void. The body would definitely explode after being pierced, but Lu Jingchuan only lost half his body. This wasn't normal. "Kai Mi, you old bastard!" Lu Jingchuan's furious voice sounded. Yimo was shook. The next moment, he saw an extremely hollow figure seep out. It was Lu Jingchuan's essence spirit, but it was incomplete too, probably due to the lightning spear. However, the half-bodied Lu Jingchuan grabbed the figure and sent it into his mouth. Eating his own essence spirit? Yimo dazed for a moment and realized that Lu Jingchuan was possessed. A guy who could devour essence spirit was not ordinary. A guy like Lu Jingchuan deserved such predicament, Yimo sneered. Instantly, the damaged body of Lu Jingchuan recovered. "Kid, Lu Jingchuan is dead. The conflict between you is over." "We don't have any conflicts, we'll go our own paths." A coarse voice sounded from Lu Jingchuan's mouth. Yimo knew that Lu Jingchuan was really possessed. Yimo sneered. He'd be an idiot to believe this guy would let it go. This guy could dodge lightning sand and make it unable to release its full power. He even used the lightning spear to weaken Lu Jingchuan. His calculations and power was stronger than both him and Lu Jingchuan. Yimo said nothing and released World Rock while hacking out. This person gave him much greater danger than Lu Jingchuan. If he didn't kill this guy while he was weak, it would be too later when this guy recovered. Seeing Yimo dared to attack him, Kai Mi sneered but wasn't scared. He punched at the World Rock and released the blood spear. The spear formed blood rivers in the void. The putrid smell of blood was revolting. If Lu Jingchuan was still alive, he would see that amicable-looking Kai Mi Qianbei was like a demon king now. The blood river charged at Yimo's Zisu fell down. Thud. A heavy thud sounded, and the blood river was torn apart by Zisu. "What god art is this?" Kai Mi yelled in shock. "I'll let you try my crevice strike." Yimo's force was even more dominant after breaking the blood river. The crevice swept the lethal force in the void and was slicing towards Kai Mi's forehead. Thud! Kai Mi's fist smashed with the World Rock, and in that instant, the fist cracked apart like a turtle shell, and then in another crack, the entire fist disappeared. Thud! Kai Mi's fist smashed with the World Rock, and in that instant, the fist cracked apart like a turtle shell, and then in another crack, the entire fist disappeared. After the blood river was hacked apart, Yimo's Zisu still kept sweeping in lethal force like crazy. At this moment, Kai Mi knew he couldn't fight Yimo head-on. It's not that he couldn't beat Yimo, but that he deigned to have full control of the body. When Kai Mi saw his forehead slowly crack open under the strike, he didn't want to fight with Yimo anymore. The spear flew back and the blood river rushed into Zisu. Zisu didn't slow down at all. Space itself and the void was drawn over by Zisu. If Kai Mi's blood river was like a waterfall in the sky, Yimo's Zisu was like an endless black hole devouring the entire blood river. The blood river dissipated, but after that Kai Mi was gone. Yimo immediately stretched out his spirit sense domain. 1 second later, Yimo caught a sliver of immortal essence wave in the void. Kai Mi could use Lu Jingchuan's body in immortal essence, and his spirit sense was this powerful. He was definitely no weaker than Yan Jiutian. However, they used different methods of possession. Yan Jiutian wanted to cultivate back to Dao Vindication Divine Emperor slowly himself. This type of possession was not much different to rebirth. Yet Kai Mi could even use Lu Jingchuan's immortal essence. This meant that he used to be a divine emperor. This person knew all the secrets of Lu Jingchuan, and definitely knew about the Chaos Tree. Kai Mi was weak now. How could Yimo let him go? When he found the immortal essence of Kai Mi leaving, he immediately chased up. Kai Mi indeed could use Lu Jingchuan's immortal essence. Other than due to his powerful spirit sense, another main reason was that he knew Lu Jingchuan's immortal essence, and sea of consciousness too well. He was studying Lu Jingquan's immortal essence and sea of consciousness constantly. Kai Mi knew that Yemo had a low-grade flying god artifact, but he wasn't worried. He believed that Yemo wouldn't even know when he left. But soon, Kai Mi realized that was impossible. The weak space ripples of when he left didn't trick this immortal king primary stage. Yemo chased up and was getting closer and closer. Now, Kai Mi was really beginning to worry. If he had 1 year, he wouldn't be afraid of Yemo at all, but now Yemo didn't even give him 15 minutes. He chased him closely. No matter what stealth cultivation method or mobility technique he used, Yemo would soon be able to find him and chase up. He didn't have any high-level mobility rune. As the two chased, they went further and further in the void. Kai Mi was experienced. He could slowly fuse into the body while running. Meanwhile, Yemo's low-grade god artifact was very fast, and thus followed him closely. Kai Mi was annoyed. He didn't understand how this immortal king was this ferocious. There was no way Yemo could track him this closely without a powerful spirit sense domain. Powerful spirit sense domains required a powerful spirit sense cultivation method. Only those ancient powerful beings could use it. He didn't understand where Yemo got it. If he didn't have a blood spear, he wouldn't be able to get away from Yemo's low-grade god artifact. Yemo was depressed too. He could clearly chase up to Kai Mi, but after a month he didn't even know where he was, and he still didn't catch Kai Mi. Low-grade god artifact had a steady speed, but it was hard to accelerate. He didn't dare not to use it, or he wouldn't be able to keep up. Another 2 months had passed. The two's distance didn't close nor get further. If Kai Mi didn't keep changing directions and stealthing, Yemo even wanted to tell small ginseng to control the space-time boat. Kai Mi was annoyed at first, but after a few months, he settled instead. He started to fuse his body and immortal essence even faster as he ran away. If he just used mobility technique once in a while and suddenly changed direction, he wouldn't be caught up. But sometimes when he thought about how he was a divine emperor, and yet he was getting chased like a dog, Kai Mi was furious. The king naming had finished. Every immortal king got their own title. At the Immortal King Tablet Square, there was news that Yuheng Heaven Lord hunted an immortal king with an immortal monarch. It said the three went into the void, but they all went missing in the void. It was nothing new that someone went missing, but it was no simple thing if one of them was an immortal monarch. An immortal monarch hunting an immortal king went missing. This was unbelievable. Of course, it was possible that the immortal monarch was just busy, and so didn't come back. Only the Heaven Lord Alliance immortal kings knew that Chang Tian immortal monarch wasn't busy. Even if he was, it would be at Extreme Wind Heaven. Chang Tian immortal monarch should be coming back to Extreme Wind Heaven as soon as he killed that sect leader Luo. But neither Chang Tian nor Lu Jingquan came back. After the two went missing, the Heaven Lord Alliance didn't hold another meeting. As for the new Heaven Lord of Yuheng Heaven, it was put on hold. No one mentioned this. As for MOU Immortal Sect and MOU Immortal City, no one would dare to offend them. Gonghua Heaven Lord Ji Immortal King Meng Changxue rejoiced of his decision. Even Chang Tian Immortal Monarch went missing hunting that sect leader Luo, much less him if he did something against EMO. After the king naming finished, Lu Feng got Huani Immortal King. Her ranking wasn't low. It was top grade in the low heaven domain. Lu Feng heard it was an immortal monarch hunting him, but there was nothing she could do. Yemo had never thought he would chase someone for 5 years, nor did Kai Mi expect he would be chased for 5 years. Yemo had never thought he would chase someone for 5 years, nor did Kai Mi expect he would be chased for 5 years. If it was someone else, Yemo would have long stopped wasting his time, but he couldn't let go of this Kai Mi. Kai Mi not only knew who he was and knew he had Chaos Tree. If this guy got away and recovered his power, he would have nowhere to go. In 5 years, Yemo went through countless void fissures with Kai Mi and countless void chaos flows, but Kai Mi was always fine. Yemo knew he has the golden page world himself. At the same time, he also realized that this old bastard must have a sturdy world, even a true spirit world. Kai Mi felt so frustrated, he couldn't shake off Yemo even after crossing void fissure many times. The true spirit world of Lu Jingquan was originally his. Kaimi used the time while he was running to spirit control it again. Although this true spirit world was incomplete, and even a little damaged, but it was still a world. It didn't affect his control of the world. So when the truth spirit world crossed the void fissure, Kaimi could clearly feel that Yemo could control his world too. Kaimi had long proved that Yemo not only had Chaos Tree but Chaos World. Any of these things would shock the entire immortal realm, and make countless people go crazy for it. Even Divine Emperor was of no exception. He was very crazy about it now, but he couldn't beat Yemo. Kaimi just wanted to shake off Yemo now and quickly recover his power. When he was strong enough, the first thing he would do is go to Mou Immortal Sect and annihilate it, forcing Yemo out. But now, he felt that if Yemo chased for one more year he would fall into Yemo's hands. That's why he was beginning to worry. Yemo also knew that his chaos world was exposed, so he had made up his mind. Even if he had to chase this guy for a few hundred years, he would kill this guy. After these 5 years, Yemo had calmed down. He didn't ask that he closed up on the guy, but just that he didn't fall behind. He was getting closer and closer to Kaimi. Yemo believed he would be able to kill Kaimi in a year or two. Although Yemo didn't cultivate these 5 years, his spirit sense kept getting refined in the void as he had to keep using it to find Kaimi. It was already on par with Immortal Monarch middle stage. These few years, he had completely stabilized his power on the space-time boat and learned more about his god arts. And Yemo's spirit sense was beyond ordinary Immortal Monarch middle stage spirit sense. As he had to search for Kaimi, he had to keep his spirit sense domain open constantly. His spirit sense has even materialized. Today, Yemo suddenly felt some waves coming from the Golden Page world. Yemo knew that Shadowless had woken up. After Yemo agreed, Shadowless appeared on the space-time boat. Small Ginseng came out too. "You're at Heaven Tao Tertiary Stage?" Yemo asked. "Boss, what do you expect? I never waste resources," Shadowless said gloatingly. "One level 9 Immortal Spirit Beast Core. Even if a dog ate it, he would become Great Eternity Immortal, and yet you say you never waste resources." Yemo was speechless. Shadowless was too shameless. Shadowless kept saying, "Boss, I'm not a dog, I'm..." Small Ginseng immediately said, "Big brother, I know you're not a dog, you said it before." Small Ginseng then added, "You're a bug, right?" "A pea-sized bug. I didn't expect a bug like you could become this big." Hearing this, Shadowless's face sunk. But he didn't dare to teach Small Ginseng a lesson in front of Big Boss. Plus, there was a forbidden ground in the Golden Page world, that was around the Chaos Tree. Even in the Golden Page world, if Small Ginseng goes in there, there would be nothing he could do. He could only say, "It's because I ate Emperor Tao Crystal, and then I mutated to Heaven Tao." "Oh, I thought you only ate a level 9 Immortal Spirit Beast Core. There's Emperor Tao Crystal too. These are both Emperor grade things and you could eat both of them, you're too good." Small Ginseng raised his thumb. How could Shadowless not be able to tell that Small Ginseng was scorning him? Small Ginseng was misbehaving more and more. When he first came to the Golden Page world, Small Ginseng called him Big Brother all the time. But now, he kept scorning him. Big Boss, we're in the void again." Shadowless suddenly realized that they were in the void. Small Ginseng said in contempt, "We've been flying in here for 5 or 6 years. Your information is really timely." Shadowless spread his wings and said, "Boss, I'm the most familiar with Space-Amy boat, let me control it. Just tell me where to go. Where is there no markings on the location disk?" Small Ginseng said in contempt, "If you could control it, I would be helping control it already. I'm better than you at controlling the ship. Boss is chasing an idiot, that guy knows nothing but running. We've been chasing him for 5 years but we still haven't caught up." Hearing this, Shadowless reached out his spirit sense and saw Kaimi, who was running away like crazy. "Boss, I can chase up to this guy in a short time." Shadowless saw the red spear under Kaimi and said. Hearing this, Yemo thought, Shadowless was different to Small Ginseng. Small Ginseng was fast but had no battle power. Letting Small Ginseng stop Kaimi was like throwing food at a dog. But Shadowless was different. He was Heaven Tao tertiary stage now, so he was on par with Immortal King primary stage. Even though he was no match for Kai Mi, he could still stop him. Thinking about this, Yemo got up and said, "Small ginseng, you control the space-time boat." Shadowless, catch that guy immediately. This guy might be a divine emperor essence spirit. If you catch him, you can eat him. Haha, watch me, boss. Shadowless laughed. But just when he was about to go out, he thought of something and pitifully turned around. Boss, aren't I just going to be food if I go chase a divine emperor? Idiot. Yemo slapped Shadowless's head and said, "If this guy still had divine emperor power, would he run away? This guy is only possessing a body. He's at most an immortal king." With this, Shadowless dashed out in a golden line. His burst of speed in a short time was faster than even the space-time boat. At the same time, Yemo released World Rock. Kai Mi's power was recovering too slow as Yemo was chasing so closely. When he saw Shadowless dash over in a golden light, he immediately felt things weren't right. Shadowless's huge mouth already bit down on him. Kai Mi instantly released the blood spear, smashing blood rivers at Shadowless, but Shadowless opened his mouth fearlessly, wanting to devour the blood river. What is this thing? Kai Mi looked at Shadowless in shock. He had been through countless years as a divine emperor but had never seen such immortal spirit beast. Was this some ancient god beast? Rumble. Shadowless ate a few blood rivers, but the blood river flow was endless. Shadowless was eventually struck and flew out in pain. Seeing this, Yemo knew that Kai Mi's power improved by a great deal. Yemo charged out of the space-time boat and hacked with Zisu while smashing World Rock down. With this slice, the nearby space and lethal force gathered. A terrifying purple crevice appeared in the void before the strike was completely released. With this slice, the nearby space and lethal force gathered. A terrifying purple crevice appeared in the void before the strike was completely released. Kai Mi looked at this with a shiver. Just looking at this, he knew that Yemo's god art improved again since a few years ago. If he took this move with force, his body would cripple again. But Kai Mi knew he had to stop it. This move had completely bound the nearby space. He could even feel that Yemo's spirit sense was actually on par with his. Seeing this, Kai Mi's heart sunk. He knew there was no other way around it. If he forcefully ran away now, he wouldn't be able to stop Yemo's next move. Then, even his essence spirit would be destroyed. Kai Mi was furious. Lu Jingquan's body was perfect for him, but he just got it, and now it was going to be destroyed. He didn't even know if his essence spirit would be able to escape. Even if there was no one hunting him, it was uncertain if his essence spirit could survive in the void. He released the blood spear, sweeping out hanging blood rivers again. The rumbling sound echoed in the void. Kai Mi had been through countless battles. Even if he couldn't stop Yemo's attack, he wouldn't lose the will to battle. Just when the blood rivers were about to smash into the purple sword rays, a black whirlpool appeared a few hundred km away. The entrance was a whirlpool that was spinning to the extreme. Spirit sense would be shredded upon contact. It was so black it was shining, it was like dark ink. Seeing this, Kai Mi burned his essence blood and lifespan without hesitation. His face went from middle-aged to extremely frail. But the instant Yemo's crevice fell, Kai Mi disappeared. Rumble. The remnant blood river was hacked in half and exploded in the void. Yemo's spirit sense saw Kai Mi dashing into that black void. In an instant, Yemo made up his mind. He took small ginseng and Shadowless and chased into that whirlpool too. The instant he went in, Yemo went into the Golden Page world. Inside the Golden Page world, as soon as Yemo reached his spirit sense out, he felt his sea of consciousness rumble. He quickly took back his spirit sense. In some places, it would at most destroy the spirit sense he sent out, but never before had a place affected his sea of consciousness like this. Yemo's heart sunk. His determination to kill Kai Mi was huge, but in here, he couldn't release his spirit sense at all. How was he to find Kai Mi? Boss, did I do something bad? That old guy is so strong, I couldn't eat him in one go. Shadowless said quietly. Yemo waved his hand. It has nothing to do with you, this guy is a tough bone. Emo could only helplessly wait and see now. Kaimi scanned his spirit sense out as soon as he went in the whirlpool too. When his spirit sense was destroyed and even his sea of consciousness rumbled, Kaimi was instead happy. He knew that he had finally escaped from Emo. Kaimi breathed easy and started to recover in his truth spirit world. Shadowless's ferocious speed and that powerful mouth still scared him. This was a breed he had never seen before. He could tell that immortal spirit beast was only at child stage. If it matured, it would be terrifying. Kaimi shook his head and cast these thoughts aside, focusing on cultivation. But 2 days later, Kaimi felt things weren't right. His true spirit world was slowly cracking, chaos flows swept in. Not good, his true spirit world was about to crack. Kaimi was instantly anxious. In this place, if the world cracked, he would be crushed to nothing. Suddenly, he heard a crack. Kaimi's heart sunk. He knew his world had crippled. Kaimi then noticed something wasn't right. The nearby black whirlpool was gone, he was safe. He was in a bluish-gray world. The cracked true spirit world was below his feet. The mountains, rivers, and immortal spirit herb were all just waste now. Just when Kaimi wanted to study where this was, he thought of the whirlpool that swept him in. It was long gone now, there was only a sliver of remaining wave. Kaimi wanted to take the pieces of the truth spirit world again, but suddenly there was another sliver of wave in the bluish-gray space. How could Kaimi not know that this person would probably be Emo? He instantly used his mobility technique to disappear without even picking up his truth spirit pieces. Emo came out of the golden page world. The pile of truth spirit world rubble laid before him. Emo immediately knew that Kaimi came here too, and he got away. What was this place? It was bluish-gray everywhere, looking quite similar to Chaos Star Realm. Emo didn't have time to care about the truth spirit world. His spirit sense scanned out. He was going to find the tracks of Kai. He couldn't let this guy get away. As soon as Emo scanned his spirit sense out, he realized that spirit sense was suppressed here. He then heard a loud roar, and then a 50-meter-tall immortal spirit beast charged over. It had an ape face, and its body was covered in blue fur. It could stand on 2 legs. Emo reached out his immortal king domain. This giant immortal spirit beast just waved its hand and a light crack sounded. At the same time, Emo felt the backlash and his immortal essence coagulated. What was this? Emo released World Rock in his shock. Rumble. The World Rock smashed the arm of the immortal spirit beast, creating this ear-shattering sound. Emo's World Rock flew out a few km, but this tall immortal spirit beast's arm was fine. Emo was shocked. He had never seen such terrifying immortal spirit beast. This immortal spirit beast seemed to have been enraged by Emo. It flung up its arm and slapped over at Emo. The terrifying pressure squeezed this space. Emo was shook. This pressure purely came from this swing. It had no spirit sense pressure nor domain pressure. It was just pure power. Emo burned his immortal essence and instantly broke free, and then used an instant transmission. The immortal spirit beast slapped where Emo was, and immediately a huge ravine with tens of km radius appeared. Nothing on that area of land remained. Emo was shocked. He didn't dare to keep fighting this thing now. If it wasn't that this beast didn't have spirit sense nor magic, Emo would be no match for it at all. Emo was shocked. He didn't dare to keep fighting this thing now. If it wasn't that this beast didn't have spirit sense nor magic, Emo would be no match for it at all. Seeing Emo retreat, the immortal spirit beast chased over. Its speed was like a comet. Emo quickly released space-time boat and sped off running. When Emo started running, he was dumbfounded. In his spirit sense and before him, there were these immortal spirit beasts everywhere. Some were very small, only 6 meters tall, but those big ones were larger than the immortal spirit beast he just fought. Some of them even had wings. How could he run? Emo's battle with that immortal spirit beast startled the other immortal spirit beast, and they all came charging at Emo. Seeing that he was surrounded by these immortal spirit beasts, Emo didn't dare to waste time. The space-time boat seemingly instant transmissioned out. As for whether Kaimi was alive or dead, Emo couldn't care. 10 seconds later, Emo found that no matter where he went, there were these immortal spirit beasts. Some places had more, some places had less. Emo found a place with less immortal spirit beasts before calling Shadowless and Small Ginseng out. "Which of you know these immortal spirit beasts?" Emo asked. Shadowless shook his head. Small Ginseng said, "Boss, they are called star beasts. They're either immortal spirit beast or god beast. They a type of beast living at the border. They only cultivate bodily power and strength, not essence spirit nor spirit sense. They have no god arts or magic, but ordinary god arts can't do anything to their power. When power is at a certain level, no immortal essence nor spirit sense is needed. Just pure power will tear through everything." Emo nodded. Even his immortal king domain was useless under the pure power of these star beasts. Seeing Emo agree, Small Ginseng looked at Shadowless gloatingly. "Where star beasts are, it must be the border of a realm domain. Usually, there would be chaos chi here. Star beasts love that. Now, there are very little places with chaos chi, so there's very little star beasts. It's quite strange that there are so many here," Shadowless said awkwardly. "Small Ginseng, your knowledge is quite good," Small Ginseng said happily. "Of course, I also know that star beast cores are called star cores. They're used to make the top-grade body refinement immortal pills." As they spoke, some star beasts saw Emo and already charged over. Emo knew that it wasn't too plausible to keep running in a place like this, so he could only fight them. This time, the star beasts were all below 30 meters. Emo hacked out Zisu. "Rainbow." The leading star beast saw this and roared, punching at Zisu. Fist and Zisu's sword ray clashed, creating a huge blast. The ground collapsed. The sword ray left a mark on the beast's body. A blue liquid dripped out. Small Ginseng couldn't fight, so Emo put him away. Meanwhile, Shadowless charged out. Small Ginseng behaved well just then. If he didn't do well and Boss was unhappy, then Small Ginseng might be appointed Big Brother. Shadowless roared and opened his mouth. A 6-meter-tall star beast was devoured. Emo was quite surprised with Shadowless's ferocity. The star beast that fought Emo was furious, and roared as it charged at Emo again. Emo put away Zisu and flung out lightning. Lightning splashed in the air, whizzing everywhere. Then, in an explosion, the lightning gathered into a bucket-thickness lightning spear. The spear tore through the air and pierced down from the void. Thud. The pressure field turned to nothing under the lightning spear. Rumble. The spear pierced through the star beast's chest but didn't stop there. It penetrated the hard ground and nailed the star beast. The star beast looked dazedly at the spear before falling down. Emo breathed easy. This thing was too hard to kill. He used 2 god arts to just kill one star beast that wasn't even 50 meter tall. "Woo-woo, this thing tastes bad," Shadowless sounded. With this, countless star beasts charged over. Emo knew that lightning swords were probably completely useless. Heaven Flame 9 Suns would have quite some trouble, and it was too taxing on immortal essence and spirit sense. So Emo just used 4-stack wave kill. Waves of 100-meter-tall lava waves charged over. In the blink of the eye, it was a sea of flames before Emo and Shadowless. The first wave swooped the countless star beasts with terrifying force, but Emo saw in shock that only some short star beasts were killed by the wave. Most of the star beasts were fine, at most just a bit withered. He just burned their layer of blue fur. Emo rushed his immortal essence, pushing out the second, third, and fourth wave. The terrifying heat instantly melted this place. Explosions sounded, and after the 4 waves, these few thousand star beasts were either dead or injured. Some smaller star beasts had completely turned to dust, while some larger ones were injured. Emo was very shocked, for a stack wave kill was extremely consuming on immortal essence and spirit sense, and even such terrifying attack couldn't kill all of them. These star beasts were too powerful. A roar sounded from the distance. Emo knew he had to quickly run. If he didn't, he wouldn't be able to use 4-stack wave kill non-stop. If there were 50-meter-tall star beasts, 4-stack wave kill wouldn't be able to injure them anyways. Yemo took the star beast he killed with lightning spear into the Golden Page world and dashed into the ground in Golden Page world. Yemo then threw the star beast to Shadowless. Shadowless ate it in a gulp. Although this thing tasted bad, Shadowless knew it benefited him so much. A day later, Yemo took Shadowless out of the Golden Page world again. The surrounding was filled with star beasts. Yemo didn't use 4-stack wave kill again. Yemo just released Zisu and started fighting them. Meanwhile, Zisu kept devouring them. At first, Shadowless could only eat 5-meter tall ones, but later on, he even dared to eat anything below 30 meters. If he was having trouble digesting, Shadowless would go into the Golden Page world immediately, and come back out once he was done. Yemo was amidst the Star Beast crowd slaughter. He slowly understood that not only was immortal essence and spirit sense needed to kill them, but also a power law. This power law was very hard to control, but as long as you captured one sliver of it, you can even kill 30-meter tall star beasts with one strike, not using any god art. But if the star beast was taller than 30 meters, it surpassed this ordinary power law. As Yemo fought, those terrifying fists kept striking him. Even with his immortal spirit body tertiary stage power, his skin and flesh cracked. Yemo could only keep using body refinement cultivation method at the same time. Shadowless kept going in and out of the Golden Page world while devouring star beasts. In this endless slaughter, they would immortal city run to another place if a star beast taller than 30m came. Yemo wanted to learn the power law through killing, while Shadowless just wanted to break through. Plus, there was no other way out in here other than killing star beasts. The place star beasts lived at was boundless. Yemo and Shadowless fought for a few months and flew for a few months. Eventually, Yemo just kept killing star beasts while cultivating his god art and refining his immortal essence and spirit sense. The place star beasts lived at was boundless. Yemo and Shadowless fought for a few months and flew for a few months. Eventually, Yemo just kept killing star beasts while cultivating his god art and refining his immortal essence and spirit sense. As for cultivation level, Yemo didn't plan to cultivate it. The main problem was that he didn't have enough cultivation resources. In this place, there was only star beasts. There would occasionally be some high-level forgery material, but no immortal range and immortal spirit herb. Yemo's main cultivation resources were from Chan Tian Immortal Monarch. Yemo got a top-grade immortal range and 2 middle-grade immortal ranges from there. There was also 1 billion immortal crystals. This really wasn't many immortal crystals for an immortal monarch, but he had large amounts of immortal spirit herb and forgery materials. These things were more important than immortal crystals for Yemo. A year later, Shadowless's power was rising steadily after devouring large amounts of star beasts, but Yemo's power didn't change at all. However, his immortal essence and spirit sense were more refined. Even a star beast that was taller than 30 meters would be affected by his world rock. 2 years later, Shadowless was near Heaven Tao Peak and Yemo's Tangmengrao could injure a star beast taller than 30m. This endless slaughter and running would drive someone mad. But luckily, Yemo would go sit under the bitter bamboo every once in a while to meditate and digest what he learned before he went out to slaughter again. At the 5th year, Shadowless was Heaven Tao Peak stage, just 1 step away from Immortal Tao. Meanwhile, Yemo mastered all his god arts and reached Immortal King middle stage. However, the 3 immortal ranges were gone. When Yemo first came here, a 50m tall star beast could slap Yemo away easily and the world rock couldn't do anything against them. But now after 5 years, Yemo no longer feared the 50m tall star beasts. Those below 30m couldn't even last 1 round in Yemo's hands. Even 50m tall star beasts were often killed by Yemo. His god art, whether it was Void Crevice, Tangmengrao or Lightning Sand, were all many times stronger. Another reason Yemo killed them so easily now was because only striking the lethal spot of the star beast would kill them in 1 move. Each star beast had different lethal spots. Shadowless could devour star beasts that were below 50 meters now. The only one who didn't improve was Small Ginseng, but his main ability wasn't in fighting. Yemo estimated now that even if he faced Immortal Monarch middle stage, he wouldn't lose. Immortal Monarch middle stage wasn't necessarily as strong as Star Beast, but the only concern was that they not only had immortal essence but also spirit sense and god art. If there was a 100m tall Star Beast, then Yemo would have to run. There were many of these, he had only seen them 6 times in these 5 years. Due to Yemo and Shadowless's crazy carnage in this area, the Star Beasts recognized the two, and if they came over, pretty much no Star Beasts wanted to fight them. Yemo and Shadowless were tired of killing two, so as long as they didn't come, they would just go their own way. These Star Beasts weren't completely dumb too. Seeing that if they didn't attack Yemo and Shadowless, they wouldn't get attacked, they knew to move away when Yemo and Shadowless came. The subtle rule that came to be was when Yemo and Shadowless came, the Star Beasts would move aside. When they left, they would go back. If there was a 100m tall Star Beast, Yemo and Shadowless would move away. What disappointed Yemo was that after searching for this long, he still didn't find a way out. There was no space fissure nor space whirlpool. He didn't have the power to tear this space open. Su Jinwen stood at the Immortal Ascension Palace feeling the dense immortal spirit chi. She was shaking with excitement. She really wanted to ascend with Susu and them, but she really couldn't wait. She was thinking about Yemo every moment. She cultivated so hard just so she could come to see Yemo earlier. Now that she finally ascended, she just wanted to find Yemo quickly and go into his arms. Yuan Heaven Shihao Immortal City, Immortal Ascension Palace. The words made Su Jinwen realize she came to a low heaven domain in the immortal realm. Su Jinwen had been in the cultivation realm for a while, but she did come from Earth and didn't know the hardship and cruelty of the immortal realm. When she just got to Luoyu continent, she lived a hard life and almost died, but after seeing Yemo and going to Mou City, her power rose drastically. With Yemo's authority on Luoyu continent and Mou City's status on Luoyu continent, Su Jinwen could do whatever she wanted there. But she didn't like to show off. However, if she said something, not even South Peace State but no one in the entire Luoyu continent would dare to rebuke. Su Jinwen thought that as long as she could find teleportation formation, she would be able to make it to Gonghua Heaven. Walking out of the Immortal Ascension Palace, Su Jinwen immediately felt extremely powerful spirit senses and immediately felt lacking confidence. She realized this was no longer Luoyu continent Mou City, but a strange immortal realm. Feeling those powerful and contemptuous spirit sense, Su Jinwen shivered and suppressed her excitement. She quickly looked down. She suddenly felt that the immortal realm in her mind was completely different to the real one. Which cultivation realm did you come up from? A loud voice interrupted Su Jinwen, and Su Jinwen saw a middle-aged immortal stop her path. His hair wasn't long, but his power was much higher. Su Jinwen didn't know what power this person was, but she could tell it was many levels higher than her. Remembering Yemo telling her not to expose where she came from and just to meet up in Gonghua Heaven, Su Jinwen hesitated for a moment and said, I came from Xinqiang continent. Hearing this, the man shook his head and lost interest. Xinqiang continent? Great! Our San Kai Jade Immortal Sex-found father came from there, welcome. A fat immortal heard this, and his eyes turned into a fine line with his smile. There were many immortals here at the Immortal Ascension Palace coming from big sects. They were here to fight the most excellent sect members for their sect. Most of the solo cultivators in the immortal realm were disqualified from rounds and rounds of selection. So, in order to get good disciples, one had to search among the newly ascended cultivators. Usually, unless you were extremely extraordinary, people wouldn't even be bothered fighting over you. This fat immortal saw Su Jinwen was quite pretty and from Xinqiang continent, that's why he was a little interested. Sorry, I want to ask where the teleportation formation to Gonghua Heaven is. I just want to go Gonghua Heaven. I don't want to join a sect yet, Su Jinwen quickly said. As soon as Su Jinwen said this, the nearby immortals laughed. A newly ascended truth realization state cultivator wanted to take the teleportation formation before even leaving the Immortal Ascension Palace. This was too funny. Su Jinwen looked at the talent testing magic artifact but didn't reach her hand out to test it. She knew her talent, in the entire Luoyu continent, there was probably no one better than her. Otherwise, she wouldn't be the first to ascend to the immortal realm in such a short time. Su Jinwen looked at the talent-testing magic artifact but didn't reach her hand out to test it. She knew her talent. In the entire Luoyu continent, there was probably no one better than her. Otherwise, she wouldn't be the first to ascend to the immortal realm in such a short time. These people came to test talent clearly for taking insect members. If they found her talent was very good, they definitely wouldn't let her go easily. Place your hands into the testing immortal artifact. It can test your talent and age to determine your talent. The fat cultivator smiled at Su Jinwen. Sorry, I don't want to join these sections. My husband is in Gonghua Heaven. I just want to go to Gonghua Heaven to find my husband. Su Jinwen clenched her teeth and said. Before the fat immortal said anything, someone on the side laughed. Looking for a doubt partner? There's people everywhere. Why run to Gonghua Heaven? Su Jinwen glared at that person furiously. Seeing this, the person said, I said it, so what? Are you going to kill me? I want to see how a newly ascended hollow immortal is going to kill a golden immortal, haha. Su Jinwen turned to leave. She knew she couldn't beat anyone here. Plus, she knew this place forbids fighting. Haha. That immortal laughed again. You shouldn't go look for your husband. An insect like him is probably long dead. There's one right here. The fat immortal's face sunk. Su Jinwen dared to go without testing. Before he reproached Su Jinwen released her dual moon ice blades. How dare this person curse that Yemo was dead? The two ice blades carried a white ray of ice shooting at the immortal, who laughed. Seeing this, everyone shook their heads. The rule here was the strong immortals must not attack the newly ascended cultivators. If a low-level cultivator dared to attack an immortal here, those with high power didn't need to hold back. He could deal with the attacker however he liked. Su Jinwen was tricked into attacking. This meant that this person could do whatever he wanted to Su Jinwen. Crack, crack. The golden immortal just casually released his magic artifact, and Su Jinwen's dual moon ice blades were broken. Seeing this, Su Jinwen was very anxious. Yemo gave her these blades. It had more meaning than the magic artifact itself. Just when Su Jinwen wanted to go up and take it back, she heard a sound transmission. You're a newly ascended cultivator. Hurry up and run. Offending immortals here is asking for death. Hearing this, Su Jinwen suddenly realized this place wasn't the cultivation realm anymore but the immortal realm. She had no right to talk, she could only find Yemo first. Thinking about this, Su Jinwen forcefully turned and flew towards outside. This golden immortal was waiting for Su Jinwen to come up and take her magic artifact and then attack her. This way, it would seem as though Su Jinwen started all this. However, Su Jinwen suddenly changed directions and flew out of the Immortal Ascension Palace. The golden immortal dazed and chased out, the fat cultivator also chased out. Seeing this, the rest of the people of the Immortal Ascension Palace all flew out. How could Su Jinwen not know she was in big trouble now? The immortal attacking her was already grabbing at her. At this moment, she saw a huge tablet outside. The tablet said, MOU Immortal Sect welcome all Immortal Ascension cultivators from Luoyu continent. Su Jinwen charged over without hesitation and grabbed one corner of the tablet, saying loudly, I'm a cultivator of MOU Immortal Sect. The golden immortal saw this and stopped attacking but sneered. MOU Immortal Sect only welcomes Luoyu continent cultivators. What do you have to do with this? Place, you dared to attack me at Immortal Ascension Palace. I must take you away. The first immortal to ask Su Jinwen looked at her and asked, Didn't you say you came from Xinqiang continent? How come you're from Luoyu continent now? Su Jinwen was lost for words. The immortal shook his head. He's certain that Su Jinwen just wanted to escape this golden immortal and said she came from Luoyu continent. MOU Immortal Sect was dominant, but they wouldn't intervene in such thing. Seeing the MOU Immortal Sect immortal shook his head, Su Jinwen was desperate. She knew that Yemo probably set up this sect. She quickly said, My husband is called Yemo. Since you're from MOU Immortal Sect you should know him. What confused Su Jingwen was that the immortal shook his head. Sorry, I really don't know some EMO. Little people knew that EMO was the sect leader of MOU. Even Lu Feng only knew later. Haha, keep making up stories. The golden immortal laughed. Your brother Ye's Dao partner? A joyful voice interrupted the golden immortal's words. Su Jingwen immediately said, Yes, Qianbei, Wan Bei's Dao partner is really EMO. He told me to go wait for him at Gonghua Heaven. What proof do you have? Another voice sounded. A square-faced man landed in front of everyone. No one could tell the power of this person. Qianbei, this woman just ascended and dared to attack immortals in the Immortal Ascension Palace. What she said was full of lies. This golden immortal quickly said, Piss off. The man yelled at the golden immortal. Su Jingwen immediately took out a crystal card and said, Qianbei, this is my husband's image. The man didn't even take it, and just scanned with his spirit sense before laughing. It's real indeed, you can put it away. Brother Yi, I've finally helped you a bit. The square-faced man said to Su Jingwen, I mean Hui, you can call me by my name. I'm friends with EMO, he's always been helping me. I came to join him this time, but I didn't expect to be able to help him, this is great. Out of the friends EMO knew, Yin-Hui was the most mysterious one, but he was a worthy friend. Yin-Hui reached Immortal King this time, and he came to Low Heaven Domain not to join EMO but to repay his gratitude. Since EMO was opening a sect here, he would come to cheer and support EMO. Yes, Brother Yin. Su Jingwen called out in joy. Of course she wouldn't call him Yin-Hui directly, she couldn't imagine the cultivation level of this Yin-Hui. It was this insect who dared to attack you. Yin-Hui pointed at the golden immortal and asked. Su Jingwen nodded, but before she said anything, the golden immortal said shakily, Qianbei Wanbei. How dare you lie to a king, die? Yin-Hui let out a sword chi and the golden immortal was dead. Slaughter was forbidden in front of the Immortal Ascension Palace, but an immortal king was going to kill a golden immortal here. No one dared to say a thing. The fat immortal still wanted to bring out his sect, but hearing the word king, he didn't dare to say anything else and scurried away. Su Jingwen immediately went up to get the dual moon ice blades. So what if you're an immortal king? An immortal king can kill people at our Yuan Heaven Immortal Ascension Palace? A cold voice sounded. An extremely powerful pressure came, even Yin-Hui couldn't help retreating a few steps under this powerful pressure. A green-robed old man appeared before everyone. Yin-Hui could tell this old man was at least an Immortal King peak stage, or even halfway Immortal Monarch. Yin-Hui signaled Su Jingwen to stand behind him and saluted with his fists to this old man. A golden immortal dared to attack my friend's Dao partner, so what if I kill him? Yin-Hui signaled Su Jingwen to stand behind him and saluted with his fists to this old man. A golden immortal dared to attack my friend's Dao partner, so what if I kill him? He couldn't beat an Immortal King peak stage, but he wasn't scared. He had seen quite many immortal emperors already. A newly ascended cultivator? Seeing that Yin-Hui wasn't scared of him, the green-robed old man acted a little more careful. Yes, Qianbei, Wanbei is a newly ascended cultivator. That person was going to attack me, so Brother Yin intervened. Su Jingwen quickly said. What happened? Someone tell me. If it was some ordinary person, the green-robed old man would have used force. Yin-Hui was not only an immortal king but wasn't scared of him at all. Who dared to speak about MOU immortal sect things? That immortal from MOU quickly went up and bowed. Qianbei, she's a newly ascended cultivator from Luoyu continent. The golden immortal whom Qianbei killed lusted after her beauty and wanted to take away her by force. Qianbei knows the elder of MOU immortal sect, so he attacked in anger. This immortal from MOU truly believed Su Jingwen was from Luoyu continent now. She lied probably just to be careful. He almost made a mistake. Although some people knew that this immortal didn't speak the complete truth, no one wanted to say something extra now. Some people had recognized this green-robed old man to be Heaven Lord Alliance Vice Alliance leader Lu Yong. 10 years ago, when Yemo disappeared with Chang Tian Immortal Monarch and Lu Jingchuan, he knew that Chang Tian, immortal monarch, was quite possibly dead. As for whether immortal King Luo was dead, he still wasn't sure. Regardless, before he reached immortal monarch, he wouldn't go look for their trouble. Hearing that this involved MOU immortal sect, he didn't want to intervene anymore. Offending MOU for a mere golden immortal, he wouldn't do this unless he was brain damaged. Lu Yong sneered to everyone. If anyone dares to attack newly ascended cultivators, death. Then Lu Yong looked coldly at Yin Hui. One who attacks a newly ascended cultivator deserves to die indeed, but it's not the job of a foreign immortal king. If you dare to kill at the Immortal Ascension Palace, then don't blame the Heaven Lord Alliance. Lu Yong finished and his force rose drastically. The nearby immortals retreated. In fact, Lu Yong didn't want to fight Yin Hui at all, but he was in a tough situation. He was too free and came here for a spin. He wanted to assert dominance to relieve some annoyance he had, but now he met a tough one. A few immortal city and sects in the low heaven domains had all been devoured for no reason. As the Vice Alliance leader, he clearly had to investigate this. Yin Hui could tell that Lu Yong only wanted a way down. Just when he wanted to say some nice words, a terrifying scream sounded. The next moment, 9 huge disgusting heads appeared in the sky. Sticky mucus that was thicker than buckets dripped down from the head. 9-headed void devouring bug? There were too many knowledgeable people in the immortal realm, almost everyone recognized it immediately. Countless immortals immediately released their magic artifact to run. The 9-headed void devouring bug was a ferocious bug fed with souls. Its mouth could devour space. Its saliva could corrode all things. When the 9 souls fused together, it would be invincible in the cultivation realm. When the 9-headed void devouring bug came to the immortal realm and devoured large amounts of immortal essence living beings, it would grow out crests. Once there was crests, it can even devour immortal kings. There are 5 colors to the crests: red, green, blue, purple, gold. The red crest is the most ordinary king bug. Ordinary immortal kings are no match for it at all. When the crest reaches green and blue, even immortal monarch would have to flee. Purple-crested 9-headed void-devouring bugs aren't even scared of immortal emperors. Usually, golden-crested 9-headed void-devouring bug never appears. This 9-headed void-devouring bug's crest was pale green. Seeing this 9-headed void-devouring bug, Lu Yong immediately realized. Those immortal city and sects were all annihilated by this 9-headed void-devouring bug. If it was something else, he would be willing to fight it, but against this level of 9-headed void-devouring bug, even he can't do anything. Plus, he didn't know if the 9-headed void-devouring bug had a master. Seeing this, Lu Yong disappeared in a dashing light without hesitation. Lu Yong was the strongest here. Of course the 9-headed void-devouring bug wouldn't let him go. Its other head sucked casually in the immortal city, and then chased out in a black figure. The instant he saw the 9-headed void-devouring bug, Yin Hui knew it was over. Against such level 9-headed void-devouring bug, there was no way out except death. He was ready to deal a heavy blow to the 9-headed void-devouring bug before he died, but instead the 9-headed void-devouring bug chased after that green-robed immortal king. Even with its casual suck, 60% of the immortals on the ground had disappeared. Those who could survive were mostly great immortals. Yin Hui knew that after the 9-headed void-devouring bug killed Lu Yong, it would come back to this city and devour everyone. Yin Hui took out a rune and the instantly enveloped Su Jingwen. He patted out a rune too. 2 dashing lights flashed, and the 2 disappeared from the city. Countless immortals took out the transmission runes and left. Lu Yong flew like crazy, but this 9-headed void-devouring bug was faster than him. Seeing that he couldn't get away, Lu Yong stopped and turned around, releasing a yellow lamp. Lu Yong activated a few hundred yellow flames. When they first appeared, they were only the size of a thumb, but when they neared the 9-headed void-devouring bug they were arm-sized and growing. Then, a few hundred more yellow lights were born. The 9-headed void-devouring bug didn't expect Lu Yong had such power. It was swept by a few yellow lights and a few bloody holes appeared on its head. The 9-headed void-devouring bug was infuriated and roared, shouting out countless black mist water lines. The yellow lights were immediately dimmed and Lu Yong's immortal king domain was crippled by this. Lu Yong felt his immortal essence stop and realized he was completely controlled by the nine-headed void-devouring bug. This nine-headed void-devouring bug was much stronger than he expected. Lu Yong didn't dare to keep fighting, he burned immortal essence and used a mobility technique. As soon as he left, the huge ugly head bit down. There was still some distance between the two, but when the nine-headed void-devouring bug bit down, Lu Yong and the space between them disappeared. Space devour. These were the last words of Lu Yong. The nine-headed void-devouring bug didn't stop at all and went back to Shihao Immortal City. Those immortals who didn't get away were all devoured. In a short time, the popular Shihao Immortal City was like a ghost city. At the Immortal Ascension Palace of another city, Yinhui said desperately to an abstruse immortal, "Take Su Jinwen to Mou Immortal Sect immediately, and tell the few immortal kings that nine-headed void-devouring bug has appeared. I have some emergency I need to leave." This abstruse immortal was the cultivator waiting at this Immortal Ascension Palace for Luoyu continent cultivators. Yinhui was desperate, he had to bring this news to the Grand Heaven Domain. Luckily he knew there was a teleportation formation to Middle Heaven Domain, and it was in Extreme Wind Heaven. Usually, this teleportation formation wouldn't be opened unless it was a significant event. Goddess Jingwen, this is Mou Immortal City. The gray-robed abstruse immortal pointed at the grand city and said, "Goddess Jingwen, this is Mou Immortal City." The gray-robed abstruse immortal pointed at the grand city and said, "So beautiful." Su Jinwen looked dazedly at the huge city standing in the clouds. She had been to 2 immortal cities and they were a far cry to this. "I'll take you to City Lord Estate. Luoyu continent cultivators don't need to be tested. The least they can do is become an outer sect member," Abstruse Immortal said politely. "You're a cultivator from Luoyu continent?" A crisp voice interrupted this gray-robed abstruse immortal asking Su Jinwen. The two immediately saw a blue-robed female immortal. She was extremely pretty and her figure was unparalleled. Even Su Jinwen felt ashamed comparing herself to this female immortal. "Yes, may I ask who you are, goddess sister?" Su Jinwen bowed. The gray-robed abstruse immortal quickly saluted with his fists. "Mou Immortal Sect Outer Sect members Yi Chao greet Qian Bei." The blue-robed female immortal smiled sweetly. "I'm Jin Bingyu, not some Qian Bei." Hearing this, Su Jinwen quickly said, "Su Jinwen greet Goddess Bingyu." Jin Bingyu nodded and asked again, "Did you come from Luoyu continent?" She heard Yemo say that he came from Luoyu continent. She had been in solitary cultivation for a decade and just reached Great Extreme Immortal. She really couldn't resist coming to see Yemo, so she came here. She didn't know about Yemo disappearing with Lu Jingchuan. "Yes, I came to find my husband Yemo. My husband told me to come find him at Gonghua Heaven," Su Jinwen said. Jin Bingyu shivered and her face changed a little, but she soon recovered. She knew Yemo's wife was on Luoyu continent, but now she finally ascended. This Su Jinwen was this pretty. She was certain that if Su Jinwen cultivated the body refinement cultivation method Yemo gave her, she would be on par with her. Women are the most sensitive. Even though Jin Bingyu was countless times stronger than Su Jinwen, Su Jinwen had some thoughts after seeing the expression on Jin Bingyu's face. "Qian Bei, if you have no business, Wan Bei will take her inside the city," the gray-robed abstruse immortal said, seeing that Jin Bingyu didn't talk nor leave. Jin Bingyu woke up and shook her head. "I'm fine." She knew that Yemo had wife. She even thought that she didn't care Yemo had wife, but now when Su Jinwen stood before her, she realized how hard it was to face it. She didn't care about other things, but she didn't dare to stay in front of Su Jinwen for long. She found that she had plans to leave before even entering the sect. Seeing the two walk off, Jin Bingyu suddenly said, "Su Jinwen isn't outer sect members, she's inner immortal spirit beast." Then, Jin Bingyu turned to leave. She suddenly wanted to go back to the Chaos Star Realm and keep cultivating. Yemo stood in this endless bluish-gray space. The ugly Zisu still hung on his back. He had a sense of loss. This was his 10th year in here. In this time, his power completely stabilized at Immortal King middle stage, but there was no improvements. But in terms of battle power, Yemo believed even an Immortal Monarch tertiary stage was no match for him. He didn't know if Susu, Yangzhu, Jingwen, Qingxue and them were fine. He didn't know how Yemo was, he didn't know how Xiaoyun was. He was an Immortal King now, but he still couldn't go looking for them and was instead trapped here. In here, Yemo was a king, but this wasn't what Yemo wanted. Small Ginseng and Shadowless stood by Yemo's side. The two knew that Boss wasn't in a good mood, and talking to Boss now was asking for it. All the star beasts were extremely far, not a single one came over. Even those ones taller than 100m would pretend Yemo didn't exist if Yemo didn't go over. Boss, that tree is 70 centimeters tall. I heard that if it grows to 3 meters it can serve you as master, but growth gets harder and harder. Small Ginseng said quietly. Yemo patted Small Ginseng's head and said, "Good job, you've done very well. As for when it can grow to 3 meters, let it go naturally." Seeing Small Ginseng being praised, Shadowless immediately said, "Boss, did you notice although these star beasts are scared of us?" Small Ginseng interrupted Shadowless. "So shameless, those star beasts aren't scared of us, they're scared of Boss. Why do you keep bringing yourself into it?" Shadowless laughed awkwardly. "At least I can eat a bunch of star beasts, you haven't contributed at all." Yemo waved his hand, stopping the argument. "You want to say that these star beasts won't allow us to go to the river forest valley in northwest?" Yemo decided the directions here himself. The river forest valley was a special place. Almost all the 100m or larger star beasts were gathered there, and there was a hanging river. There were also trees with no leaves. The only place with trees in the space was there. The valley was shrouded in bluish-gray and Spirit Sense couldn't scan in. They neared there a few times, but was stopped by 100m tall star beasts. Although they couldn't do anything to the three, either could the three do anything to them. Later on, Yemo knew that with his current power they couldn't get in, so he left. Shadowless quickly said, "I meant to say that recently, all those star beasts larger than 30m are heading there. But there are very little star beasts below 30m going in." Hearing this, Yemo realized it was indeed so. The star beasts around him were all below 30m. Yemo immediately felt something happened at the river forest pond. "We'll go see as well," Yemo said, and then he heard roars. A few star beasts larger than 30m appeared in Yemo's spirit sense. Soon Yemo noticed that all the star beasts who came over were missing arms and legs. Their face was full of worry. A few star beasts ran up to Yemo and beckoned while pointing at River Forest Pond with a desperate face. Yemo looked at the star beast and asked, "What do you mean? Did something happen there? You want me to help?" The star beast kept nodding. Yemo frowned. He guessed the valley probably wasn't some exit but where the star beasts cultivated. That's why he didn't plan that he must go there. While Yemo was hesitating, Shadowless immediately said, "Boss, these blue furs clearly want to harm us. If it's something even they can't beat, then they probably have some evil plans calling us to help." Small Ginseng said too, "That's right, boss, these beasts might have bad intentions." But Yemo knew these star beasts weren't cunning. He thought for a moment. "Let's go see. If things go bad we can run." A few injured star beasts saw that Yemo was willing to help, so they joyfully went ahead to lead the way. A few injured star beasts saw that Yemo was willing to help, so they joyfully went ahead to lead the way. With their speed, they just used 15 minutes to get outside River Forest Valley. The inside was still filled with a bluish-gray mist. Even with spirit sense, one could only obscurely see some river flowing and empty tree branches. Other than this, there were a few hundred star beast bodies at the entrance to the valley. The bones were bitten and filled with holes. There were some shiny black ants attached on the bones. Clearly the star beasts were devoured by them. Yemo knew these ants. Before Yemo spoke, Small Ginseng and Shadowless called out in shock, "Metal-devouring bugs?" Yemo nodded. "That's right." Yemo had seen these once in the 7 refined tower of Yuan Le Heaven. At the time, he only saw around tens of thousands of them. They were from level 3 to level 5. With his power, he could only hide on the side while they flew over. Although Emo hadn't seen just how many metal-devouring bugs there were here, but there were definitely more than tens of thousands, and they would be more than level 5. It was impossible for level 5 metal-devouring bugs to even make a mark on the star beasts. A few metal-devouring bugs noticed them and charged up. Emo hacked out with Zisu and there was the sound of hard metal clashing. Those metal-devouring bugs were hacked away, but they only wobbled a bit and were lightly injured. "This is level 7 metal-devouring bugs, you guys go inside." Emo immediately knew that these weren't things that Shadowless and Small Ginseng could take on. If there were only a few it would be fine, but once there were too many even Shadowless would have to await death. No wonder these star beasts would be devoured clean. If the level 7 metal-devouring bugs attacked together, even the most powerful star beast would have to die. Since it was metal-devouring bugs, Emo wasn't too worried. They were fast, but he wasn't slow. If he was no match for them, he could run away. This time, the star beasts didn't stop them going in the valley. When Emo went in, he immediately spread out his spirit sense. He finally realized why these star beasts would be scared and gradually killed off. A tidal wave of metal-devouring bugs covered tens of 100m tall star beasts. Those below 100 meters were long dead. These 100m star beasts blocked the entrance of the valley clearly, so the metal-devouring bugs can't charge out of it. These star beasts were very powerful, but they couldn't do anything against the metal-devouring bugs. They could only rub or smash. That way, even if a small portion died, most of the metal-devouring bugs would still be fine. Emo looked at a 110m star beast collapse due to metal-devouring bugs. That star beast only struggled a little and were enveloped by the metal-devouring bugs. The metal-devouring bugs went in through the star beast's eyes and nose and soon devoured the star beast from the inside out. Emo took in a cold breath. Even that 110m star beast only struggled a little, and most of these metal-devouring bugs were mostly level 6, some level 5 and little level 7. There were about tens of thousands of them. There were 2 that reached level 8. If such terrifying metal-devouring bugs went into the immortal realm, it would be a disaster. Even the Grand Heaven domain would be devoured by these terrifying metal-devouring bugs unless someone had the Heaven Flame 9 Suns like him. Emo didn't doubt people having god arts similar to the Heaven Flame 9 Suns in the immortal realm. The immortal realm was boundless and there were countless masters. There would be large-scale massacre god arts. Seeing Emo come in, a few taller star beasts whined and couldn't make any more sounds. Now that they called Emo, it was clear that they asked for help. Before Emo attacked, the metal-devouring bugs charged at Emo like a tidal wave. At this moment, Emo didn't dare to hold back. 5 blue golden suns rose up. Emo used Heaven Flame 9 Suns at full power immediately. He had 2 immortal flames now. The first was blue like morning sky and second was South Abyssal Void Flame. Emo used blue like morning sky straight up. Countless blue rays shot out, sweeping over 1,000 km radius. Sizzling sounds came up everywhere. Everything that was burned by this flame would turn to dust. Emo's condensed spirit sense and immortal essence made these metal-devouring bugs charging at him fall in the turn of an eye. The air that was filled with metal-devouring bugs loosened up. Those metal-devouring bugs that fell to the ground smoked in a moment and disappeared. The metal-devouring bugs was terrifying, but to them, the Heaven Flame 9 Suns was more terrifying. Those metal-devouring bugs below level 7 couldn't resist at all, and the level 7 ones were shaky. Emo called out Shadowless, and Shadowless swooped all those shaky metal-devouring bugs away. As Emo charged into the valley, the metal-devouring bugs cracked like popcorn. When Emo used Heaven Flame 9 Suns, he only protected Shadowless but not those star beasts. Those surviving star beasts seemed more withered under the Heaven Flame 9 Suns, but the metal-devouring bugs attached to them were completely burned. They couldn't care about the damage brought to them by Heaven Flame 9 Suns. They were completely dazed. This neighbor had been with them for a decade, but it was their first time seeing he had such terrifying power. If Emo used such sun on them, it was be extinction. These star beasts looked fearfully at Emo, not daring to disrespect him at all. They didn't know that even if Yemo used Heaven Flame 9 Suns, he wouldn't be able to annihilate them, much less Yemo didn't plan to annihilate them. Yemo's slaughter finally made the two level 8 metal-devouring bugs scream in horror. The remaining level 7 metal-devouring bugs gathered together and charged at Yemo with the two level 8 ones. Their wings were burned by Heaven Flame 9 Suns and could only wobble in the air. It was perfect for Yemo that they gathered and charged at him together. The instant they came, Yemo punched out. 5-stack wave kill. A terrifying immortal flame smashed out, burning out ripples in the space. Some injured metal-devouring bugs died immediately, some survived, but then the second and third wave came. Then, the fourth and fifth wave came. Even the most powerful metal-devouring bug couldn't take Heaven Flame 9 Suns and 5-stack wave kill. In that moment, all level 7 metal-devouring bugs were destroyed. The only two remaining level 8 metal-devouring bugs screamed and wanted to run. How could Yemo let them get away? Although he used lots of spirit sense and immortal essence, he could still use another one or two god art. As he released Zisu, Yemo waved out lightning sand. Rumbling sounded in the void, countless lightning arcs fused together into a 30 kilometers long lightning spear. The two level 8 metal-devouring bugs wanted to run, but Yemo was waiting for them with tens of spirit sense blades on the side. One metal-devouring bug was hit by spirit sense blades and became wobbly. The other was hacked by Zisu and wanted to run. Theoretically, level 8 metal-devouring bugs was equivalent to a mortal monarch, but their battle power relied on numbers. Individual metal-devouring bugs were far weaker than ordinary immortal spirit beasts of their level. Rumble. The lightning spear pierced the two metal-devouring bugs. They just made an even sharper howl and was smashed away. Before Yemo said anything, Shadowless dashed over and swooped the two metal-devouring bugs into its mouth. Shadowless was busy devouring the metal-devouring bugs, but Yemo looked at these slanted rivers and was a little shocked. The colors were different, but the deeper in the valley, the darker the water. Shadowless was busy devouring the metal-devouring bugs, but Yemo looked at these slanted rivers and was a little shocked. The colors were different, but the deeper in the valley, the darker the water. Yemo scanned his spirit sense into the river water, but found his spirit sense had this hurting sensation. He quickly took back his spirit sense and walked to one of the rivers and felt his hand in. It was bone-piercing cold. Yemo almost felt his hands were being corroded by this liquid. Yemo quickly took out his hand but found his hand to be fine, and his skin seemed smoother. A powerful feeling surged up. This is a body refinement place. Shadowless stared at these rivers with light in his eyes. Yemo woke up. No wonder the star beasts were that powerful. They had such a body refinement place. And there seemed to be a type of power in this river. Would he be able to learn it? Thinking about this, Yemo rejoiced. He couldn't cultivate in this place and could only kill. He was long sick of it. If he could body refinement, then it was still cultivation. He was immortal spirit body tertiary stage. If he reached immortal god body, even if it was just primary stage, his body would be on par with ordinary immortal emperor body. In that case, even if his power was a little weaker, he wouldn't fear ordinary immortal monarchs anymore. Yemo sped up to the second river and placed his hand in. A more painful scorching pain came up. Yemo knew that if he wanted to go in there for body refinement, he would have to use body refinement cultivation method. Yemo realized, the deeper he went, the stronger effect these rivers had. Those tens of star beasts saw Yemo going around in the rivers but didn't dare to go up. Even those taller than 100 m felt very threatened by Yemo. The metal-devouring bugs almost annihilated them all, but this new comber easily wiped them out. It was clear who was the strongest. Yemo just went into a suitable river and said to Shadowless, "Go find a place for body refinement. If those star beasts comes up to annoy us, just eat them. If not, then don't provoke them. I don't want to eat those mosquitoes." Shadowless jumped excitedly into a river he had chosen in. Seeing the two go in, those star beasts breathed easy. There were many rivers here. If Yemo just used them for body refinement, it didn't damage anything and so was fine. After resting easy, those star beasts gathered up and crushed the remaining metal-devouring bugs. When things calmed down, those star beasts went into the river for body refinement, but they would choose a rather further place from Emo and Shadowless. After experiencing the ravage of the nine-headed void-devouring bug, the low heaven domain gradually calmed down, not because the nine-headed void-devouring bug didn't dare to devour immortal cities and sects, but more than 10 immortal emperors from the grand heaven domain came down together. They battled the nine-headed void-devouring bug and the owner. Eventually no one could do anything to each other, so they came in agreement. That was, the nine-headed void-devouring bug wasn't allowed to ravage the immortal realm, and its master was allowed to set up his own sect in the grand heaven domain. Of course, they could only let it go for those immortal cities devoured. Immeasurable people died in this disaster, even MOU immortal sect lost a few disciples. Now, it had been another decade since the nine-headed void-devouring bug disaster and more than 3 decades since Yemo disappeared. At Fendu Heaven, Jacques Immortal City Big Square, countless immortals gathered again. This time, there were a few thousand immortal kings and some immortal monarchs. Yan Jiutian, it's this guy again. A handsome man sneered outside the square. This gray-robed man also had a handsome face, and when he heard this, he just glanced at the blue-robed man and snorted with equal contempt. A loser dares to be cocky? Then the gray-robed man left. When Yemo comes, I want to see how you will be cocky in front of me? A white-robed, veiled female immortal walked over. Martial Brother Ding, I suspect Yan Jiutian hid his power. Perhaps he isn't Immortal King primary stage at all, he's Immortal King tertiary stage. These two were Ding Jie and Zhang Tai. Because Yemo mentioned Yan Jiutian and Ding Jie couldn't find a match, but he happened to find Yan Jiutian. Thus, the two fought without saying anything. Ding Jie was unparalleled in the Grand Heaven domain, but he couldn't beat Yan Jiutian. If he didn't have a few life-saving magic artifact, he would have been killed by Yan Jiutian. This time they came to Fandu Heaven because the Outer Realms star domain might be open. For this, almost all the immortal kings came. Of course, more Great Eternity Immortal wanted to go, and so they came too. Ding Jie nodded, but after a while he said, After coming back from the star domain, I'm going to find Yemo. Yemo said he's going to Chaos Star Realm. I wonder if he went. Just when Zhang Tai wanted to answer, more than 10 figures landed on the high stage in the center of the square. Most immortals knew the leading person. It was one of the 4 Grand Emperors, Feng Kong Grand Emperor. Behind him was Wei Feng and Dragon River Grand Emperor. As soon as Feng Kong Grand Emperor came out, the immortals at the square fell silent. Feng Kong Grand Emperor nodded happily and said loudly, There has been lots of things happening recently. Only a few decades ago we found the small heaven domain, allowing many Great Eternity Immortal who have been stuck to reach Immortal King. And now in a short while, we found the entrance to another heaven domain. Of course, it might not be a star realm, but based on the chaos chi coming out of it, it's quite possibly the entrance to an outer realm star domain. The people below immediately became excited, especially some Immortal King peak stages and Great Eternity Immortal peak stages. Everyone knew that there were entrances to the Chaos Star Realm from Low, Middle, and Grand Heaven domain, and going in from each entrance resulted in a different scene. But over countless years, people have never seen Outer Realm Sat domain. If the Outer Realm Star domain was 9 levels of the Chaos 36 domains, then this unexcavated star domain would have countless treasure. Feng Kong Grand Emperor waved his hand. Everyone calm down, the Black Whirlpool might not lead to Chaos Star Realm. We only guess so. There's some laws inside. It would strongly reject Immortal Emperor or Immortal Monarch who have mastered a law. Thus, it only allows people who haven't mastered a law to go in. Hearing this, Yan Jiutian frowned. He didn't know if he could go in. His power returned to Immortal King tertiary stage and his space law was getting complete, but because he wasn't at that cultivation state, his law wasn't mastered. He had to go in this if it was the Outer Realm Star domain. It would be dripping in wealth. He didn't lack cultivation methods but cultivation resources. Of course, if this isn't the entrance to the star domain, then there would be danger going in. As for what danger it is, you will be responsible for it yourself. Feng Kong Grand Emperor's tone went cold. How can we cultivators be scared of danger? If we fear danger all the time, we might as well hide at home. Feng Kong Grand Emperor said, and people immediately conformed. How can we cultivators be scared of danger? If we fear danger all the time, we might as well hide at home. Feng Kong Grand Emperor said, and people immediately conformed. Then, Feng Kong Grand Emperor threw out a huge crystal ball showing the entrance of the whirlpool. If Yemo was here, he would notice that this whirlpool was much larger than the one he entered in. It was extremely black but spun far slower than the one he went in. When the immortals saw the black whirlpool, Feng Kong Grand Emperor said again, "At the same time, I need to remind everyone that according to our calculations, this whirlpool would spin the opposite way only after 12 years. That's when everyone can come out, so before you go in, you need to think carefully." For most cultivators, 12 years was the blink of an eye, it was nothing. How to use these 12 years to find the most cultivation resources was the most important. But one thing I need to remind everyone is that if you don't come out after 12 years, this whirlpool will disappear. As for when it would next appear, no one knows. After going in the star realm, you must hand up all level 9 and above immortal spirit item, otherwise death. But those who hand them up will be rewarded heavily. Hearing this, everyone shivered. There was no way around this. But some smart people felt relaxed instead. If the Grand Emperors didn't want anything, then that would be strange. In a slanted river, Yemo was sitting inside. The river water formed ripples around him. Extremely little impurities were excreted out of his body. His body and power was still increasing. As time went on, the water rustled around him. Eventually, the water left the river and circulated around Yemo. Soon, Yemo was encompassed by the water and obscured. Rumble. A huge explosion sounded, blasting away all the water around Yemo. Just when the water evaporated in the air, the river Yemo was in dried up. At this moment, Yemo's long hair flowed down, the muscles on his body were perfect. The star beasts saw the explosion and didn't even dare to come near, they all moved away. Yemo gave himself a few dust removal spells and took out a clean set of clothes and flew into the air howling. After all these years of hard work, he had changed countless rivers, and today, he finally reached immortal god body. Even in the immortal realm, immortal god body was very rare. Although theoretically, the immortal emperor body was on par with immortal god body, but its recovery and defensive capabilities were weaker than immortal god body. Reaching immortal god body meant that Yemo had the power to stand firm in the immortal realm. Even against an immortal emperor, he would have some chance of getting away. Plus, Yemo learned a new law in the river, and that was power law. In the ancient times, power law was the most basic and simple law in the immortal realm, but it was the hardest to reach the highest state. In all the ways of Tao vindication, vindication through power was the hardest. No one has ever succeeded. It was easy to learn power law but hard to reach initial mastery. So as time went on, there were very little people in the immortal realm who went to learn power law. Eventually, power law disappeared. Until today, Yemo finally learned power law in this bluish-gray space. Even if he didn't vindicate Tao with power law was extremely important. "Boss, you reached immortal god body?" Shadowless ran over. Yemo waved his hand. "I've begun looking into power law and I reached immortal god body. There's no point in staying here, we can go and try find a way out." However, it was a pity that he couldn't take the river away. If he did, it would lose the body refinement power law. Otherwise, Yemo would at least take half the rivers here. Shadowless was long bored of this place and had quickly followed behind Yemo. All the star beasts quickly moved out of the way. On the way, Yemo was thinking about where those metal-devouring bugs came from. There definitely was none here before, but then suddenly so many appeared. "What is this place?" A few hundred immortals appeared in this bluish-gray area. Then, a few hundred more appeared. Soon, there were more than 10,000 people here. "This doesn't seem to be the outer realm entrance to Chaos Star Realm." "Not necessarily. When you first enter the Chaos Star Realm, it's bluish-gray too, like here." "Yes, but this place is barren, there's nothing." "And This immortal king didn't finish, but everyone knew there's almost no immortal spirit chi here. It would be strange if there were immortal spirit items here. Most people guessed that this might really not be the entrance to Chaos Star Realm but an independent dimension. As for what dangers there were, no one wanted to try first. Look, what are those immortal spirit beasts? One great Eternity Immortal Peak stage pointed at 2 star beasts and said in shock. What level immortal spirit beast are they? Can't tell, they're covered in blue fur, they seem very strong. I'll go have a look. One great Eternity Immortal Tertiary stage flew out of the crowd and neared the 2 star beasts. The 2 other Get also followed carefully. Seeing this great Eternity Immortal get close, the 2 star beasts immediately ran. They had the subconscious feeling that those people who came were like EMOs. Seeing this, the great Eternity Immortal immediately released his magic artifact. These immortal spirit beasts are very scared, they're probably not strong. I'll kill one first. Then, the great Eternity Immortal attacked with his magic artifact. His magic artifact struck the star beast head-on, but the star beast wasn't injured at all. Seeing he was attacked, the star beast roared and slapped with his palm. Splurge. This great Eternity Immortal was smashed to pulp. The immortal spirit beast was too absurd. A great Eternity Immortal attacked with magic artifact but didn't do any damage and was instead slapped to death. The immortal spirit beast was too absurd. A great Eternity Immortal attacked with magic artifact but didn't do any damage and was instead slapped to death. The other 2 great Eternity Immortals saw this and quickly ran. This star beast saw that although these people looked like EMO but was far weaker, they stopped running. They charged back and slapped down too. These 2 great Eternity Immortal couldn't even break free from the force binding of the star beast and was instantly slapped to death. Then the 2 star beasts charged into the crowd. Finally someone in the crowd recognized and yelled out. This is star beast, their hide is extremely thick. Ordinary magic artifact can't damage them at all. They live on the border realms, they don't cultivate immortal essence nor spirit sense, but they have extremely strong power. Rumble. The palm of a star beast clashed with an immortal king's magic artifact. This time, the lower than 30m star beast was smacked away. But even so, the star beast wasn't injured at all. But the 2 realized that there were people who could beat them here, so they retreated and disappeared. Luckily they left, this thing is too scary. Those below Immortal King would meet certain death. One great Eternity Immortal said with fear. The Immortal King who struck the star beast away said heavily. You don't understand star beasts at all, they appear in packs. They would be overwhelming. There might just be 2 here, but there would be countless times more than us coming. And this Immortal King changed to a more serious tone. I heard that there are star beasts larger than 30m. If we encounter these, it would be extremely hard for us to even run. But I heard that star beasts are usually very violent, and would never retreat. It's very strange that these 2 retreated. Hearing this, the immortals fell silent. If that was the case, then they wouldn't be thinking about how many immortal spirit herb to collect in these 12 years, but how would they survive? Now, pretty much everyone had been teleported in. With discussion, most people started to think about a way out. First, there were star beasts everywhere. Second, this wasn't Chaos Star Realm. We need to leave here quickly and find a safe place first. Someone suggested. Leave? In the habitat of star beasts, there are star beasts everywhere. We're very lucky that there was just 2 here. One immortal king said in contempt. As soon as he said this, he saw a few thousand star beasts charge over. With this, everyone tensed their minds. Don't worry, form teams and attack with magic artifact. Attack one together, we have lots of people. All the immortal kings extend out your immortal king domains to stop these star beasts. One immortal monarch primary stage immediately yelled. The strongest person here was only immortal monarch primary stage, and ones who could come in didn't achieve great mastery in law. With this, people started to form teams. There were about 20,000 people here, and 5 immortal monarchs. There were 2,000 immortal kings and the rest were great eternity immortals. The 20,000 people clashed with the few thousand star beasts. magic artifact ravaged, immortal essence burst everywhere. There were great eternity immortals and immortal kings being slapped to death non-stop, but there were also star beasts being killed. Although star beasts were powerful, most of the star beasts that came didn't exceed 30 meters. Their weakness was obvious. These immortals soon found the weak spots of star beasts after some battle. As everyone spread out this experience, the even battlefield skewed towards the immortals. As more and more star beasts died, they finally couldn't resist retreating. Soon, the rest of the star beasts were gone, leaving behind a ravaged land and a stack of bodies. This battle was short, but a few hundred immortals died. Meanwhile, only a few hundred star beasts died, and this was because star beasts over 30 didn't come. Otherwise, at least half the immortals here would die. These things are so powerful, there's so many of us and we only barely won. It seems we can't wander off alone, we must act together. One immortal king panted. I don't think it's so simple. The leading immortal monarch frowned. A few thousand star beasts isn't a lot at the border realm, it's little. The most important thing is that there isn't star beasts beyond 30 According to what I know, there's not only 30 tall star beasts but also some 100 tall star beasts. If it's one of these, even I would have to run and I might not even get away. Hearing this, the scene fell silent again. If not even an immortal monarch can get away, the rest of the people's fate was clear. Some essence spirits who have lost their bodies floated helpless in the air, not knowing where to go. Immortal monarch master, what do we do now? One immortal king broke the silence and asked what everyone wanted to ask. Do you guys have a better idea? That immortal monarch couldn't think of a better idea. Another immortal monarch said, the only way is to build an immortal city here. We don't need to build a huge one, we just need it to block these star beasts. We can use their beast cores to concoct top-level body refinement pills. We can hunt star beasts as we find a way out. If we can't cultivate, we'll use these beast cores for body refinement. That probably won't work. Powerful star beasts are taller than 30 No matter how sturdy the immortal city wall is, it probably won't stop them. Another immortal monarch said. The immortal monarch who suggested this said again, of course we can't just rely on the immortal city, but star beasts have a weakness, and that is they don't cultivate essence spirit and spirit sense. They just rely on more power. If we set up large amounts of illusion formation and stealth formation, or even transmission formation, we'd pretty much be fine. Almost everyone agreed to this suggestion. With hope comes motivation. These immortals immediately began building a city. With 20,000 people building a city and the weakest being great eternity immortals, this immortal city was built with extreme speed. Of course, the city walls weren't built with the best materials, but the formations were set up with good materials. Yemo was searching for a way out. Yemo saw star beasts move away, but he stopped. He found that many star beasts were wounded. They seemed like magic artifact wounds. Did people come here? Or was it Kai-Me? Thinking about this, Yemo immediately came up to an injured star beast and grabbed it. All the star beasts here knew Yemo and Shadowless. Seeing Yemo grab him, he didn't dare to move at all. Yemo checked the wounds carefully. It was indeed caused by magic artifact. It really did seem that foreigners have come. This isn't the work of Kai-Me. They were injured by different magic artifacts. I'll go have a look. Yemo left the star beasts behind. Soon, Yemo saw a immortal city being built, and there were all sorts of formation outside. There really were people here. Yemo didn't know where they came from and was about to go look. Boss, it's Kai-Me, that old bastard. Shadowless called out. At the same time, Yemo found Kai-Me too. Without hesitation, he charged at Kai-Me. Kai-Me also looked at Yemo immediately. He had been hiding in here for a few decades and found that many people have suddenly arrived. Without hesitation, Kai-Me started to run. He wasn't scared of Yemo, he was certain Yemo would chase up. He thought the same as Yemo, to kill him at a place where there was no one. Yemo and Kai-Me came and went quickly. Those people building the immortal city didn't notice them at all. Yemo and Kai-Me came and went quickly. Those people building the immortal city didn't notice them at all. Yemo only chased for 5 minutes and knew that Kaime's cultivation level was much stronger than before. And these star beasts feared him, but Kaime as well, as they didn't stop Kaime either. At the same time, Yemo felt that Kaime wasn't really trying to escape from him, but was instead trying to draw him somewhere. Kaime wasn't even scared of him, realizing this, meaning that Kaime already knew he wouldn't let him go. Shadowless, this old bastard is trying to lead us somewhere. When I fight with him later, you stay on the side and find an opportunity to ambush him. Yemo's sound transmission to Shadowless. Shadowless immediately nodded. He loved ambushing people, but when he reached Heaven Tao, his body changed and couldn't ambush people with the size of a pea. The immortal city built here was called Star Defense Immortal City. This immortal city was built very fast, but the formations were set up slowly. However, with tens of immortal formation masters and great masters, the city defense formation was finally set up. It was made up of a few level 6 immortal formations. But in here, star beasts might not even be able to break a level 4 immortal formation unless it's those star beasts that mastered the power law and all came to attack, but that was impossible. Those star beasts who mastered power law would be at least 100 m or higher. These star beasts rarely came out. They are pretty much all at River Forest Valley to protect the body refinement area. There were hundreds of millions of star beasts in this bluish-gray area, but there weren't many star beasts who could reach 100 m and above. It not only required talent but also fortune. The immortals in the city immediately felt they had nothing to do after the star beasts stopped attacking. It was hard to cultivate here and they couldn't go out easily. Helplessly, most immortals could only choose to body refinement. Soon, many people found that the body refinement pills made with star beast cores were extremely effective. There was even a sliver of chaos wave inside, making people understand more about their god art and cultivation method. Real seeing this, 2 things became precious. One was body refinement cultivation method, the other was star pills. They were pills made from star beast core. No matter where it was, as long as there was incentive, there would be those fighting for it. Many people started forming teams and left the city to hunt for star pills. Some people came back loaded, some could never come back again, but more and more people went outside the city. Yan Jiutian also went out, but he didn't go for the star beasts. Since there was chaos chi here, he only needed to find the source of it, and he would be able to find something precious. This can be the place of your burial. Kaime suddenly stopped and stared coldly at Yemo. At the same time, he reached out a huge hand and grabbed at Yemo. As soon as his hand reached out, the fingers turned into 5 boundless mountains and smashed from above Yemo. 5 extremely in-sha killing intent locked the nearby space. It was as though the sky was falling. Yemo was chasing Kaime, but he was on alert. Seeing this, he smashed out the world rock without hesitation. A powerful immortal essence backlash came. Yemo felt his chest go heavy and he was shocked. His power was many times stronger than when he came in here, but this Kaime improved at a faster speed than him. He had the upper hand on the first attack. It had only been a few decades and Kaime surpassed him. If this guy had more time, how could he be a match? Kaime was surprised that the world rock stopped his in-sha heaven claw. His in-sha heaven claw dominated in this dimension. Even the sturdy body of the star beasts couldn't take his in-sha heaven claw, much less Yemo's mountain magic artifact. But the magic artifact stopped it. Blood River 9 falls. Kaime roared and waved his hand. The blood spear was released, and at the same time, 9 blood rivers fell from the sky. There was less quantity of the river, but the power was many times stronger. The dense bloody smell with this shocking killing intent instantly loomed over this space. The invisible lethal force squeezed the nearby void, cracking. Yemo knew that even if he called Shadowless out, Shadowless wouldn't be able to devour this blood river. None of his god art would be able to stop this blood river. Seeing Yemo, who was illuminated red by the river, Kaime snarled. I want to see how you're going to keep acting cocky? You dared to hunt me for a few decades, letting you die is too simple. As Kaime spoke, the blood spear made a petrifying sound and charged at Yemo with even more ferocity. Emo suddenly reached out his arms and howled. Void! Then he punched out 9 consecutive punches. Emo's face went pale. If he was an immortal god body, just using Void 9 times would cripple his body. Against this powerful Blood River 9 Falls, there was no other way for Emo other than Void. You're asking to die? Kaimi sneered, seeing Emo dare to punch his Blood River. No one knew the Blood River better than him. It would corrode everything. Plus, he fused the Een Sha he found in this space inside. The endless lethal force in the void suddenly split apart. Some were swept away by the Blood River, some formed a lethal force whirlpool and smashed with the Blood River. Rumble, rumble, rumble. In the clash, the nearby space and domain were shattered. Blood splashed and immortal essence dispersed. Emo's face went pale. There was a sliver of blood on his lips. He knew Kaimi was far stronger than he expected. He was heavily injured. This is impossible. Kaimi looked at the shattered Blood River in disbelief. It was impossible for an immortal king to punch his Blood River. Unless Emo was at least a mortal god body. Before Kaimi could say that Emo was a mortal god body, a shadow dashed towards him. Before Kaimi could say that Emo was a mortal god body, a shadow dashed towards him. It was that guy again. Kaimi recognized Shadowless as soon as he came out. He hated Shadowless just as much as he hated Emo. It was Shadowless who forced him to this world. But Shadowless was too fast. Just when he reacted, Shadowless bit over with its big mouth. Kaimi heavily injured Emo, but he paid a price for it too. In that blink of an eye, Shadowless actually ate Kaimi. Idiot, spit him out quickly, Emo said desperately. Kaimi was a divine emperor. Although his immortal essence was damaged, his essence spirit was still very powerful. Unless Shadowless was immortal Tao, it would be suicide to eat Kaimi. Shadowless felt something wrong after he ate Kaimi and spat Kaimi out immediately. It was only a blink of an eye, but Shadowless was also heavily injured. However, Kaimi also seemed withered. He was covered in Shadowless's stomach acid and his immortal essence was chaotic. Emo released Zisu before Kaimi could attack. Crevice. The endless space and the nearby void was all gathered here, gradually squeezing into a sword ray. This sword ray fell down along Kaimi's brows. Kaimi had long seen the power of this strike. Kaimi smashed out the blood spear. Crack. The nearby space was ravaged again like a volcanic eruption. The ground turned to oblivion. Huge rings appeared between Emo and Kaimi. The earth shattered and stretched out into tens of miles. Kaimi was hacked tens of km away by this strike and a gash appeared between his brows with blood dripping down. Emo didn't retreat much, but he sighed. His immortal essence and spirit sense was extremely deprived due to using Void 9 times. He only released the look of crevice but the actual force of it. Otherwise, Kaimi would be heavily injured from that strike. Kaimi seemed to be hacked away that long, but most of it was intentional. As soon as Kaimi stopped, the gash had recovered and the blood spear swirled in the void again. Emo's face was cold. He didn't know if Kaimi could use Blood River 9 Falls again, but if Kaimi did, he wouldn't be able to use 9 voids again. But he believed Kaimi wasn't that strong. You indeed have some fortune. You actually reached immortal god body here. Kaimi didn't attack Emo again and instead said coldly. Seeing Emo not talk, he said again. But no matter what, don't think of escaping from me today. Then, the blood spear turned into blood shadows in the void. Blood River. Emo's heart sunk. He didn't expect Kaimi to really be able to use Blood River 9 Falls again. If Kaimi used it again, he wouldn't be able to escape at all. His only opportunity would be now, but Emo didn't want to do that. He suspected that Kaimi was bluffing. Kaimi was at most Immortal King middle stage now, or maybe tertiary stage. How could an Immortal King tertiary stage use a god art like Blood River 9 Falls twice? Emo clutched Zisu tightly and stared coldly at Kaimi. He didn't believe Kaimi could use it another time. If Kaimi really could, then he would run immediately. The 3 big blood rivers hung in the air but didn't fall. Yemo breathed easy. Kaimi could only use 3 rivers. But Yemo didn't attack Kaimi. Kaimi didn't attack him either. Clearly both of them felt someone was coming over. Yemo recognized it was Yan Jiutian. I can encounter you everywhere. Yan Jiutian sneered and released his mist line without hesitation. The region it dominated was no smaller than the Blood River. Yan Wudao, you should join up with me to kill this Kaimi. He came to rob my time formation disk. If you kill me, you would be no match for him. He's a divine emperor. Yemo said. Kaimi? Your Kaimi divine emperor? Yan Jiutian wasn't clueless like Yemo and immediately called out in shock. Kaimi said coldly. It seems I still have some fame left. I thought after all these years, even some cats and dogs don't take me seriously. Then Kaimi looked at Yemo with contempt. In his eyes, Yemo was an insect. In order to increase his power these years, he forced it, and it wasn't beneficial for him fusing with the body. However, he fought a big battle before fighting Yemo, making him unable to use Blood River 9 Falls twice. Otherwise, Yemo was dead for sure. Yemo's heart wasn't calm at all. Now that Yan Jiutian confirmed Kaimi was Divine Emperor, it was clear that Kaimi was in essence spirit body due to fighting Truth Divine Emperor. Truth Divine Emperor was able to kill that many people while being ganged up on. Just how strong was he? He only knew Truth Divine Emperor was very strong before, but after seeing Kaimi, he realized just to what extent Truth Divine Emperor was powerful. Kaimi was about the same cultivation level as him, but wasn't scared of him at all. That Truth Divine Emperor killed a few of the Divine Emperors joined up with Kaimi. Just how scary Truth Divine Emperor was. Humph. Yan Jiutian's mist line already attacked towards Yemo. Yemo knew things couldn't end well today. If it was just Kaimi, Yemo would be confident in killing him, but now with Yan Jiutian, Yemo decided to leave first. As soon as Yan Jiutian's Immortal King domain reached out, Yemo's Immortal King domain and Spirit Sense blades hacked out. There was an indistinguishable crack and Yemo's figure disappeared. Yan Jiutian's mist net clearly attacked at Yemo, but when it instantly fell towards Kaimi. This wasn't the first time he fought Yemo. He knew that even if he attacked with full power, he wouldn't be able to kill Yemo nor keep him. But he knew this Kaimi well. He was an ancient divine emperor and now possessed another body, and knew Yemo had time formation disk. He had to kill one today. He couldn't kill the cunning Yemo, but he could try to ambush this Kaimi. Even just the secrets of a divine emperor was enough for him to attack. Rumble, rumble, rumble. As the 3 blood rivers fell, Yan Jiutian's mist net clashed with it. Yan Jiutian's mist net was instantly bound by the blood rivers. Kaimi thought the same as Yan Jiutian. He knew Yemo just as well. Although he was contemptuous at Yemo, he knew Yemo's capabilities clearly. Now that Yan Jiutian knew about the time formation disk too, and he seemed to have quite a lot of good things, killing Yan Jiutian first was the same for Kaimi. It was because the two had the exact same idea that their magic artifacts clashed. Just with that clash, Kaimi realized that this Yan Jiutian was not much weaker than Yemo. He definitely couldn't kill Yan Jiutian in his current state. Realizing this, Kaimi didn't want to fight at all. The blood spear twisted and the blood rivers exploded. Meanwhile, Kaimi's figure dimmed instantly. Yan Jiutian's mist net instantly turned into a fine mist spear and pierced that dimming figure, drawing out blood. After leaving that blood, Kaimi disappeared like Yemo. Seeing this, Yan Jiutian felt regretful. If Kaimi left a second later, he would have been able to keep him. Seeing this, Yan Jiutian felt regretful. If Kaimi left a second later, he would have been able to keep him. Yemo and Kaimi left, the few hundred star beasts surrounded over immediately. They were scared of Yemo and Kaimi, but not this newly arrived Yan Jiutian. Yan Jiutian was very annoyed that he got nothing out of this, and now that these star beasts surrounded him, he didn't hold back. His mist lines turned into countless mist rays that accurately pierced these star beasts. These powerful star beasts were defenseless against the mist rays. They were slaughtered, and soon, the remaining star beasts fled. They were different from when Yemo just came in. When Yemo first came in, no matter how many died, they would keep attacking Yemo. But now they are scared. Seeing someone could instantly kill them, they grew smart and immediately retreated. Even if Yemo saw Yan Jiutian here, he would compliment him. Yan Jiutian knew the weak spots of star beasts very well. These mist rays struck the weak spots of the star beasts immediately. At the same time, Yemo instant transmissioned into the star beast crowds. However, the star beast immediately recognized Yemo and moved away. "Boss, what do we do now? Should we follow one of them?" Shadowless had recovered from his injuries and asked. "My cultivation level is a little stronger than Kaimi, but I can't kill him for certain. Kaimi, that old bastard, grew strong this quickly. If he could use his blood river 9 falls consecutively, even if I can get away, I would lose a layer of skin." Yemo shook his head. Shadowless suddenly said, "Boss, although I devoured Kaimi only for a short time, I felt that this guy's immortal essence was used before. He was even lightly injured. I'm certain it's not due to the fight with us. Perhaps he fought with someone before." "Are you certain?" Yemo's face went serious again. "It's true." Shadowless nodded affirmatively. If Shadowless was right, then his cultivation level wasn't a little stronger than Kaimi but much weaker. This meant that if Kaimi encountered him before the fight, Kaimi would be able to use Blood River 9 Falls twice. With that, he might even die. "Boss, I feel that Kaimi grew stronger this fast must be because he found something better than those body refinement rivers," Shadowless guessed. Yemo knew that Kaimi found a huge fortune in here. "That old bastard is experienced. Perhaps he already knew there were good things in here, so he went for that straight away. Only we were dumb enough to fight with our lives." Shadowless ranted unhappily. Shadowless's words struck Yemo. Kaimi was once a divine emperor. His experience must be bountiful. But so was Yan Jiutian. He was a half-divine emperor. Yan Jiutian left that immortal city probably to come find resources here. Thinking about this, Yemo immediately called out Small Ginseng and told him his idea. Small Ginseng quickly patted his chest and said, "Boss, don't worry, we'll follow him. If I sense any immortal spirit item chi, we can find it ourselves." "Okay, let's do this," Yemo immediately said. With Small Ginseng's help, Yemo soon found Yan Jiutian's tracks. Yemo didn't need to use his spirit sense to lock onto Yan Jiutian to follow him. Small Ginseng would remind him. But even so, after 3 days, Yan Jiutian noticed something wasn't right. He even stopped and used his spirit sense to search around. However, in this bluish-gray space, his spirit sense really couldn't search much. On the 4th day, Small Ginseng immediately told Yemo, "Boss, I felt an extremely dense chaos chi. Even without that yen, we can find it." "Okay." Yemo instantly sped up and charged at Yemo. Yemo knew that under such circumstances, it was impossible to ambush Yan Jiutian. As soon as Yemo appeared, Yan Jiutian saw it and waved out his mist line. Tens of thousands of mist arrows shot and crushed the void, squeezing all the nearby space. Yemo didn't release Zisu at all but instead punched out 9 times. 9 voids, 9 space lethal force whirlpool instantly formed. When Yemo completely released these 9 punches, the 9 void drags released a huge rumbling sound. Crack! Yan Jiutian's mist arrows were swept into the whirlpools and made explosions. After tearing some mist arrows, the 9 whirlpools gradually gathered together, creating an even louder rumbling sound. A terrifying huge whirlpool formed between Yemo and Yan Jiutian. Seeing this, Yan Jiutian's face changed immediately. He immediately took away his mist line and disappeared. Yemo didn't chase Yan Jiutian. He knew that he might not be able to catch up to Yan Jiutian. Yemo's face was pale, but he was very excited. Ever since knowing that Kaimi could use Blood River 9 Falls, Yemo had constantly been thinking about how to counter that move. Compared to Yan Jiutian, Yemo wanted to kill Kaimi more. So during these few days he had been thinking about how to fuse his 9 voids together into a new fist god art. Using this battle with Yan Jiutian, he finally created the form of his new god art. Yan Jiutian was very cunning. He knew that Emo was testing a new god art on him. If he kept fighting Emo, it would be helping Emo, and he might get injured. How could Yan Jiutian do such a dumb thing? So after noticing this, he left immediately. Emo was still in the enlightenment of the new fist god art, and couldn't care about Yan Jiutian leaving. After the 9 voids fused together, it completely annihilated this region of space. Rumbling sounds went on non-stop. The nearby space rattled. Emo knew that this punch really devoured space and used space law into it. There was a fundamental difference between this and Void. Void couldn't stop Blood River 9 Falls, but this punch could stop it. If he could use it more than once, he could even ambush Kaimi and tear him to pieces after blocking one Blood River 9 Falls. Thud! Emo put away the fist force and the whirlpool in the void exploded and soon dissipating. Boss, such a powerful punch! Shadowless immediately came to suck up. Emo's face was a bit pale and shook his head. This punch is indeed much stronger than the 9 voids I used fighting Kaimi, but I can only barely use this punch once. If I can't use 2, I would be no match for Kaimi. Boss, what this punch called? Shadowless and Small Ginseng looked expectantly at Emo. Boss, what this punch called? Shadowless and Small Ginseng looked expectantly at Emo. Emo thought for a moment and said, Space Shatter. He had Crevice and now Space Shatter. It sounded very good. Small Ginseng, lead the way. We'll go look for good things. When Boss has mastered Space Shatter, we'll go find that old Kaimi bastard. If I don't eat this guy, I don't feel satisfied. Shadowless waved his hand. Small Ginseng was unhappy being ordered, but he couldn't argue and led the way. Half a day later, the 3 came to a place where the blue color was deeper than other places. But coming here, Emo immediately felt a sliver of Chaos Chi. This Chi was similar to the Chaos Chi in his Golden Page world, but not completely the same. Coming in here, Emo's spirit sense was unrestricted. This was a dried-up swamp. At the end of the swamp, there were 3 big nest-like things. Because the swamp was dry, this place looked barren and wilder. The swamp was lifeless, but due to these 3 big nests, there was a slive of life here. Boss, this is Chaos Nest. Small Ginseng immediately said. What is Chaos Nest? Emo asked in confusion. Small Ginseng pointed at the 3 nests and said, Chaos nests are brought over when a realm is born. It usually has a sliver of law chi. The blue-grayish dimension here is filled with power law, so these Chaos nests must have power law chi. Power law? Emo immediately came up to the Chaos nest and grabbed. A faint primal law feeling rose up into his head. Emo only had the time to say to Small Ginseng and Shadowless, Take 1 each, I'm going to cultivate now. Shadowless, keep an eye on Yan Jiutian. Shadowless was waiting for this. Emo immediately started learning the power law while Shadowless moved a chaos net into the Golden Page world. Small Ginseng saw this and did the same. However, Small Ginseng looked strangely at Shadowless and asked, Why didn't you open your mouth this time? That's strange. Shadowless smiled. I feel this chaos net is definitely enough for me to reach Immortal Tao. As long as I reach Immortal Tao, I can eat that Kaimi old bastard in one mouth. His blood river would be nothing. However, I would have to wait till boss is done, otherwise, can your little arm stop Yan Jiutian? Hearing this, Small Ginseng could only shut up. Emo was completely immersed in learning power law. This chaos net not only refined his immortal essence and spirit sense, but also allowed him to understand his god art and power law more. He kept using space shatter through the chaos net, and there was no longer a place to stay around him. Small Ginseng and Shadowless could only keep retreating to free up space for Emo to practice. Rumbling sounds went non-stop. Terrifying immortal essence chi swept out instantly, creating a huge ravine in this canopy. The power law and chaos chi of the chaos net were constantly being stripped away by Emo. Meanwhile, the height of the chaos net kept dropping, but Emo's space shatter was more and more refined. Time passed rapidly, while Shadowless and Small Ginseng could only go around this boring space. When Yan Jiutian found this blue region, he immediately knew Yemo went inside first. He cursed. He knew his cultivation level was a bit higher than Yemo, but his battle power was weaker than Yemo. He felt very annoyed. He was a half-divine and begun cultivation again, but he wasn't as strong as an ordinary guy. He could only attribute that to the time formation disc. If Yemo didn't have the time formation disc, he would definitely be no match for him. Rumble. With 3 rumbling sounds that was like planets smashing down. In the distance, Small Ginseng and Shadowless looked at the crevices appearing in front of Yemo with mouths wide open in shock. They knew that this was Yemo's fist tearing the void, creating the tear. Although this tear disappeared in an instant and was far from tearing opening the void, Yemo was only an immortal king. This terrifying power was unimaginable. The ground near Yemo was instantly torn by these 3 fists. The ground seemed to have rolled backwards. But after the 3 punches finished, Yemo waved his hand and the flying ground fell back down. Crack! The huge chaos net behind Yemo turned to dust and disappeared. Sigh! Yemo let out a long breath. This chaos net was indeed a good thing. He used one, and not only did he perfect his god art, but he could use 3 space shatters in a row. Even after that, his immortal essence and spirit sense wasn't that deprived. Before, he thought that if he could use 2 shatters, he wouldn't be scared of the Blood River 9 Falls being used twice, but now that he can use 3, Kaimi would be dead for sure. Yemo saw the line-like tears in the space. He knew that with the toughness of space here, even Immortal Emperor wouldn't be able to tear it open. Just because he created lines, it didn't mean he could tear it open. It was just a burst of him perfecting his god art and the chaos net. If he used that move again, he might not be able to create space tears. However, he was very happy. He was only an immortal king middle stage after all. Boss, so strong! Shadowless and Small Ginseng came over and congratulated immediately. I still have a chaos tree, should I take it out for Boss to cultivate? Small Ginseng immediately said. Seeing this, Shadowless was a little reluctant but could only say, Boss, I have one too. Yemo waved his hand. I only need 1, I've learned the power law, even if I get more, I wouldn't progress much. Plus my god art is perfected, I don't need to waste these things. Then, Yemo looked at Shadowless and said, Shadowless, can that chaos net let you reach Immortal Tao? If it can't, then save it, don't waste it. Shadowless quickly flapped his wings and said, Boss, don't worry, after eating this chaos net, I can definitely reach Immortal Tao. I promise. Then, Shadowless charged into the Golden Page world. He was scared of Golden Page world causing trouble, so he immediately went in and ate the chaos net before sitting beside the bitter bamboo. How long have I been cultivating here for? Yemo asked Small Ginseng. It's been 4 months. Small Ginseng quickly said. Yemo frowned and said, Go into the Golden Page world first, I need to go that immortal city. If Kaimi this old bastard gets away it would be no good. Yemo didn't know that not long after he left, the space where he was started to crack. Outside the whirlpool, the immortal emperors and immortal monarchs looked at it in shock. The 20,000 people had gone in for a few months, but the entrance slowly calmed down instead of disappearing. Brother Feng Kong, I feel the law suppression seems to be disappearing. Perhaps the other people who have controlled the law can enter too. Blood River Grand Emperor said. I noticed it too. Wei Feng Grand Emperor and a few other immortal emperors said. The immortal emperors glanced at each other and nodded before charging inside without hesitation. The remaining immortal monarchs saw this and all went in. Only a few people remained outside. I killed your people, so what? That Ding Jia guy stay here, the rest of you piss off. Yan Jiutian stared coldly at more than 10 immortal king and yelled. Below his feet were 2 corpses. Ding Jia's face was very bad. He just fought Yan Jiutian a few years ago, but in such a short time, he was completely outmatched. Yan Jiutian, how arrogant you are! You dared to insult Madman Ding, I'm going to kill you first. Yemo's voice sounded. Hearing this, Ding Jia laughed. Yemo, I knew that in such a busy place you would be here. Ha ha! Hearing this voice, Yan Zhoutian's face went really bad. He didn't need to look to know Yemo was here. Yemo took the thing he wanted and clearly, his power increased a lot. He was no match for him before, now was even worse. Hearing this voice, Yan Zhoutian's face went really bad. He didn't need to look to know Yemo was here. Yemo took the thing he wanted and clearly, his power increased a lot. He was no match for him before, now was even worse. Other than Ding Jie, the rest of the people looked at Yemo in shock. Although Yan Zhoutian came in here with them, no one expected him to be this powerful. They were trapped by countless star beasts before, but when Yan Zhoutian came, he just used a few simple god arts, and those star beasts ran away. 2 immortal kings were killed on the spot just for being slightly rude to Yan Zhoutian. No one dared to say no when Yan Zhoutian said Ding Jie had to stay. Who was this person who just came? He spoke to Yan Zhoutian in such tone, but Yan Zhoutian wasn't angry? Everyone looked at Yemo. In fact, Yemo just carried a simple sword on his back. This sword had a sheath too. He didn't look like an immortal king at all, more like a mortal from the lower realms. Yemo, I was wanting to go find you after leaving here. I didn't expect you were here too. This is great. You don't know how cocky this guy is. I really can't beat him now, Ding Jie said. Yemo patted his shoulder and said, This guy is Immortal King Tertiary Stage, he hid his power. You can't beat him now, but that doesn't mean you can't beat him when you're Immortal King Tertiary Stage. Hearing this, Yan Zhoutian was shocked. He didn't expect Yemo to be able to see through him hiding his power. Meanwhile, he couldn't see what Yemo's power level was. This guy is too shameless. Yemo, teach him a lesson, I'll cheer you on. Ding Jie rolled up his sleeves and said. Yemo knew that Yan Zhoutian was good at running and it was completely impossible to kill him, but he didn't feel good without teaching Yan Zhoutian a lesson. Just when Yemo was about to release Zisu, Yan Zhoutian suddenly sound transmission. Yemo, I'm no match for you, I admit, but it's impossible for you to kill me. If you want to fight, then I can fight with you, but when Kaimi comes, I will join up with him. Can you beat the 2 of us? Yemo frowned. He knew what Yan Zhoutian said was true. Yan Zhoutian's escape abilities were much stronger than him. Seeing this, Yan Zhoutian said again. Yemo, I know you have an immortal sect, but I never caused trouble there. If you have the balls, we'll fight when we're both Immortal Emperor. Normally, you can't kill me nor can I kill you. No matter how we fight, it would be a waste of immortal essence. Plus, you know that I would definitely do it personally if I was to kill you. I wouldn't spill your secret like an idiot. I believe you think the same. Yan Zhoutian wasn't that noble, of course. He didn't go to Low Heaven Domain because he didn't have time. Plus, he didn't even consider MOU Immortal Sect a threat. Plus, Yan Zhoutian believed that if he reached Immortal Emperor, then no matter how insane Yemo was, he could kill Yemo. He had a few powerful god arts that could only be cultivated in Immortal Emperor state. If it was outside, then Yan Zhoutian would say this, but this bluish-gray dimension was small and the star beasts here seemed to be able to communicate. It wouldn't be hard for Yemo to find him. Yemo didn't really care waiting till Immortal Emperor to fight Yan Zhoutian. He knew that since Yan Zhoutian said this, he was relying on something, but even so, Yemo wasn't scared. Yemo, just teach this Yan bastard a lesson. I'll stop this guy. We can't let this guy get away. Ding Jie laughed. Yemo waved his hand and said to Yan Zhoutian, Piss off, I don't want to kill you now. Yan Zhoutian's face was green, but he could only go, and soon disappeared. Yemo, why not kill him? Ding Jie looked at Yemo with confusion. Because someone I want to kill more has come. Then Yemo stared at an empty space ahead. Soon, a gray-robed person appeared. It was clearly Kaimi. Yemo felt this guy seemed even more stronger than a few months ago. This time, Kaimi didn't draw Yemo away and just said coldly, I knew you would take those chaos nests, you idiot. Die. Then Kaimi released Blood Spear and Blood River 9 Falls. The violent and foul stench spread out. The terrifying Immortal King domain spread out like crazy. Ding Jie and the other Immortal Kings could only retreat and instantly left where Yemo and Kaimi were. The space rattled heavily with the release of the Blood Spear. Emo felt it was okay, but the nearby immortal kings looked at the void in shock. This power was like the sky falling. Was this even a battle between immortal king? Even a battle between immortal monarch was only like this. The 9 blood rivers swept down from the sky. Even at tens of km away, the immortal kings felt it was hard to breathe. There was shock in Ding Jia's eyes. He thought he was at the peak of immortal king. But he couldn't beat Yan Jiutian. That was alright, as Yan Jiutian was immortal king tertiary stage. But now, he thought he couldn't beat Yemo's enemy Kaimi. This guy was even stronger than Yan Jiutian. This Kaimi seemed to only be immortal king primary stage. No matter if he hid his power or not, he was definitely an immortal king. As the 9 rivers fell, the bluish-gray dimension turned blood red. The revolting smell completely sealed this space shut. Yemo didn't move at all. He was waiting for Kaimi to use this. If Kaimi didn't use Blood River 9 Falls, it wouldn't be easy for him to kill Kaimi in his own way. Kaimi was once a divine emperor, who knows what means he hasn't used yet. The nearby people could only see 9 blood rivers covering the heavens and sweeping at Yemo. Yemo never thought of running away. The moment Kaimi used it, Yemo used his space shatter. Explosions sounded amidst the blood river. Soon, the immortals saw void runes forming outside the blood river and then gathering together before sweeping up the nearby void lethal force, forming an invisible lethal force whirlpool. What fist god art is this? The nearby immortal kings looked at space shatter in shock. Seeing this, Kaimi frowned. As a past divine emperor, his vision was countless times better than others. Yemo's space shatter was completely different to void before. This time, Yemo just used 1 punch, but its power was much greater than the 9 punches together. This meant that Yemo fused the 9 punches into a new god art. Kaimi was shocked. If he didn't kill Yemo today, there would be endless trouble. In a few months, he fused a new god art. If he didn't kill Yemo while he wasn't strong, then it would be thousands of times harder later. Rumble! The lethal force whirlpool exploded in the blood river, and the 9 blood rivers exploded. The ground in the void was a complete mess. Kaimi sneered, the blood spear shrieked in the air, and before they completely disappeared, another 9 blood rivers fell along with Kaimi's frigid voice. The Emperor shall see if you can take a second blood river 9 fall. The second blood river 9 falls smashed down, space erupted. Even 100 km away, the onlooking immortal kings found it hard to breathe. The second blood river 9 falls smashed down, space erupted. Even 100 km away, the onlooking immortal kings found it hard to breathe. Such terrifying god art, used consecutively, was too powerful for any of them to stop alone. Yemo was just an immortal king. Could he stop the second blood river 9 falls? Even Ding Jia looked at Yemo with a worry. He admired Yemo the most, but he wasn't sure if Yemo could stop this. After punching out the first space shatter, Yemo's face only went a little paler. Now that the second blood river 9 falls came, he instead took a step in and punched again. After this punch, the nearby space switched. The void and lethal force moved by the blood river 9 falls turned into fist runes. Yemo's punch carried 9 lethal force whirlpools and smashed towards the blood river 9 falls. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The two clashed head-on and 9 heavenly shocking explosions sounded. Blood splashed everywhere and immortal essence dispersed. The nearby space started to rattle heavily. Waves of immortal essence and spirit-sent space waves were clearly visible. Everyone took in a cold breath. The first time they clashed, no one saw how Yemo countered the blood river 9 falls, but this time, everyone saw clearly. Yemo used his fist god art to smash the blood river 9 falls head-on. Yemo's fist god art was formed by many lethal force whirlpools that could also divide into 9, or even more. Yemo could use his fist to break Kaimi's blood river, meaning that his body was powerful to a new extreme. This couldn't be done with just god art. In the immortal realm, those using fist god arts were pretty much all body refinement cultivators. Some experienced people realized why Yemo delayed using his first punch. It was to bait Kai-mi to use the second blood river Nine Falls. Kai-mi realized this too. His heart was shook. He completely didn't expect Yemo to be able to progress this much in a few months. Yemo used 9 punches to stop his blood river Nine Falls, and afterwards, his immortal essence and spirit sense was used by more than 90%. But today, Yemo not only fused the 9 punches into a new fist god art but could use it twice. No wonder you dare to stay here to wait for me. It's because you found a way to counter my blood river Nine Falls. Kai-mi sneered and suddenly howled, spitting out, "Blood river Nine Falls!" The third blood river Nine Falls struck down. The terrifying blood river chi emanated. The nearby space had been ravaged by 3 blood river Nine Falls, and finally marks started to appear that could be seen by the naked eye. Yumo's face changed. He guessed that Kai-mi would be able to use blood river Nine Falls twice, but he didn't expect 3 times. Seeing Yumo's face change, Kai-mi laughed. His complexion wasn't normal, clearly due to using blood river Nine Falls for the 3rd time. You would never know what my next move is, and you would never guess where my real power is at. So today, you can only die here. Blood river attack? Even if he was to be heavily injured, he would kill Yemo today. He didn't believe Yemo would be able to stop his blood river Nine Falls a 3rd time. When the 3rd blood river fell, his immortal king domain and blood spear had fused into the strongest immortal king domain. This domain completely sealed off Yemo's exit. Yemo wasn't going to run, he never thought of it. He didn't move at all, and then suddenly, punched out again. Space shatter. Space shatter, it had to shatter space to be called space shatter. Yemo's space shatter couldn't shatter the space here, but it could shatter Kai-mi's blood river Nine Falls. This punch smashed out. The fist force swept the nearby few 100-kilometer lethal force rushed, and the fist force was like rolling ocean. The 3rd space shatter was stronger than the 1st and 2nd one. Seeing this, Kai-mi's face changed drastically. He completely didn't expect Yemo to improve this much in a mere 4 months. It was already crazy enough that he could use blood river Nine Falls 1 extra time during this time. Even if Yemo got the Chaos Nest, he shouldn't be able to use 3 of such terrifying fist god art consecutively. He didn't know that Yemo cultivated the 3-birth chant. It was the most suitable thing for deriving everything. Once the space shatter god art was derived, it was a new god art. This new god art didn't require immortal essence and spirit sense used for 9 voids. It used even less. Rumble. Terrifying chi and explosions rustled about. The outside immortal kings could only see waves of lethal force whirlpool and layers of blood mist entwining. With the 3rd blood river Nine Falls being smashed away, Kai-mi immediately felt the backlash. He was already at his wit's end after using 3 blood river Nine Falls. If he knew Yemo could stop his 3 blood river Nine Falls, he would never fight Yemo in this way. Kai-mi knew he had lost completely. Kai-mi didn't even care about his blood spear anymore. He burned his immortal essence and life like crazy. He had to get away as quickly as possible. If he was in essence spirit form, it would be better, but Lu Jingquan's body confined him greatly. But Yemo wasn't going to give him the chance. Lightning crossed in the sky, instantly forming a lightning spear containing endless killing intent. Kai-mi's immortal king domain instantly shattered and the blood spear was about to fall. Kai-mi knew lightning stand and just barely moved his body. Splurge. The lightning spear passed through Kai-mi, sending him into the not yet dissipated fist whirlpool. Kai-mi's body was instantly obliterated. Yemo stood in this blood, but his face was very bleak. A divine emperor wasn't so easy to kill indeed. Even though he crippled Kai-mi's body, his essence spirit still got away. Not only this, he didn't even see the red spear. The divine emperor essence spirit was terrifyingly refined. It could get away in that terrifying lethal force whirlpool, and Yemo didn't even know how it got away. The only thing that Yemo felt assured about was that for Kai-mi's essence spirit to reach immortal king level again, it would require a few 100 to 1,000 years, and this was if he could find a suitable body. Otherwise, it would take longer. Of course, if he encountered some insane fortune, it would be hard to say. Haha, Yemo, you're strong indeed. Even such a powerful guy was slaughtered by you with only essence spirit running away. Ding Jia was the first to congratulate Yemo. The nearby immortal kings surrounded over. An extremely beautiful female immortal walked up softly to Yemo and bowed. Hua Yushue, thank Martial Brother Yi for saving my life, Yushue. She had a faint aroma on her body that would render men with a throbbing and good feeling. Yemo had his instincts and didn't have a good impression of this female immortal, so he nodded. No need to thank me, I didn't come just to save you. Hee, she's from Demon Joy sect, I'm certain that she came to seduce you. If you hint a little, you guys can jump in bed immediately. Ding Jia sound transmission. Yemo thought of another woman, she was from Demon Joy sect too, called Hua Rishue. Clearly these two were related. Thinking about this, Yemo sneered. Demon Joy sect really ruined the name Shui. TL note, Shui means snow. He even killed Demon Joy sect immortal king. How could he suck up to Demon Joy sect? Hearing this, Hua Yushua's face changed immediately. But before she spoke, Yemo dashed among the immortal kings and grabbed a pink-dressed female immortal, asking very nervously, What did you say? Say it again. Yemo, she's from Wujia Sound River, it's the #1 sect of Yu Heaven. Wuhua Immortal Emperor Sangqi never comes out, but his power is no weaker than Feng Kong Grand Emperor. He's even at the level of half-divine. The second Immortal Emperor, Wuyin Immortal Emperor Wan Shiyu, is Immortal Emperor Peak 2. No one dares to mess with them. It's said Wujia Sound River has 4 Immortal Emperors and more than 10 Immortal Monarchs, don't mess with her. Yemo, she's from Wujia Sound River, it's the #1 sect of Yu Heaven. Wuhua Immortal Emperor Sangqi never comes out, but his power is no weaker than Feng Kong Grand Emperor. He's even at the level of half-divine. The second Immortal Emperor, Wuyin Immortal Emperor Wan Shiyu, is Immortal Emperor Peak 2. No one dares to mess with them. It's said Wujia Sound River has 4 Immortal Emperors and more than 10 Immortal Monarchs, don't mess with her. Seeing Yemo grab this pink-dressed female immortal, Ding Jia sound transmission to Yemo, fearing Yemo would do something inappropriate. Even his sect couldn't mess with Wujia Sound River. The top sects of Immortal Realm all have 3 Immortal Emperor, but Wujia Sound River has 4. Wujia Sound River was very dominant and protective. If their sect members was abused, they would definitely hunt the abuser. Yemo didn't seem to hear what Ding Jia said and kept staring coldly at the red-robed female immortal, saying, Say it again, what did you just say? After her initial worry, she gradually calmed down. Let me go first. The immortal king's face burst red and yelled. Yemo felt he was doing wrong and quickly let go, but he didn't have the time to apologize. He just stared at her and said, I just said you look a bit like the image carried on Shiyin's jade card. I didn't offend you, what right did you have to attack me? Yemo was dumbfounded. He just kept murmuring Xiaoyun. Mu Xiaoyun went missing in the small world, and he went to the small world many times but couldn't find her. Now that he heard Xiaoyun's name again, especially how she carried an image of him, how could he not be excited? Show me Xiaoyun's image, tell me where she is? Yemo asked desperately. Seeing Yemo didn't have the intention to apologize, the female immortal could only say, 10 years ago, Wuyin martial ancestor brought Xiaoyun back. I've seen her once because Martial Sister Ping and I arranged her residence. I only asked Martial Sister Ping because I saw you. However, we never saw Xiaoyun after that. At the time, Xiaoyun carried a jade card and inside was your image. Her surname is Mu, right? Yemo asked loudly, completely forgetting the tone of his voice. The female immortal subconsciously frowned but still nodded. Yes, she's called Mu Xiaoyun, this is her image. Then, the female immortal took out a crystal ball and casually printed an image inside. Yemo grabbed the crystal ball immediately and murmured, It's Xiaoyun indeed, it really is her. Now, everyone realized that this Mu Xiaoyun was probably someone Yemo knew. However, she appeared at Wujia Sound River. How is she now? Is she Wuyin Qianbei's disciple? Yemo put away the crystal ball and asked shakily. Wuyin was an immortal emperor. If Xiaoyun was her disciple, she would be doing well. The female immortal shook her head. I'm not sure because I never saw her again. Martial Ancestor Ween never took her to some gathering or public events. Yemo frowned. Xiaoyun might not be Ween Immortal Emperor's disciple. If a master liked his disciple, he would take the disciple to all sorts of public events. Another thing that made Yemo more confused was that Xiaoyun's talent was very bad, just a little bit better than him. Even if she cultivated primordial chaos chant, she shouldn't be able to ascend in such a short time. If Xiaoyun didn't ascend on her own, then she was brought over by Wuying from another realm, or she had some great fortune. But even if she did, how could she keep it if Wuying Immortal Emperor knew about it? When you saw Xiaoyun, what was her cultivation level? Yemo asked. The female immortal dazed and said, It seemed to be truth realization state. I didn't really care. How could an immortal king care about an ordinary immortal ascension disciple? Yemo, you know this Mu Xiaoyun? Dingjia looked at Yemo and asked. Yemo nodded. That's right, Dingjia, how did you guys come in here? Can you go out? I'm going to go find Xiaoyun. Yemo worried that Xiaoyun might not have much status in Wuying's Sound River. No one would care if a mortal ascension disciple died in such a big sect. Dingjia shook his head. Probably not. When we came in, those immortal emperors said that even if you want to go out, it would be 12 years later. As soon as Dingjia said this, a red flying sword landed. Dingjia grabbed it and immediately said in joy, Saint Yi said immortal emperors have come in. They're at Star Defense Immortal City. Let's hurry over and see. I'm bored of this place already. Hearing this, the rest of the people rejoiced and the immortal kings quickly left. 10,000 great eternity immortal and immortal king gathered outside the city. Yemo came here and immediately saw more than 10 immortal emperor. Their force was overwhelming. Yemo took in a cold breath and carefully controlled his chi. If it was immortal monarch, he wouldn't really care, but against an immortal emperor, Yemo didn't have any confidence. He was probably no match for even the weakest immortal emperor. A long-bearded handsome man stood in the air and said to the rest of the people, We originally guessed this was the entrance to the Chaos Star Realm, but instead it's the dimension where star beasts live. It seems some problem occurred here and it's now connected to another realm. The exit has appeared, everyone can go back from where they came from. Those who want to can come with us to the other realm. Yemo knew this person, it was Wei Feng Immortal Emperor. Wuxuan Immortal Emperor was killed by this guy. Then, Wei Feng Immortal Emperor left in a dashing light. The rest of the Immortal Emperors didn't even say anything and left. Yemo didn't know where the other realm appeared, but he wasn't interested at all. He suddenly thought of one thing and said to Dingjia, Dingjia, did that Wuying Immortal Emperor come? She did, she was among the people who left. Dingjia quickly sound transmission. Wuying Immortal Emperor Master, please wait. Yemo quickly called and was about to chase up. Mu Xiaoyun was taken back by her. Even if Wuying was a divine emperor, he would go up and ask. But she was too fast and had already disappeared. How dare you! A mere immortal king dares to stop Wuying Martial Ancestor. Do you not want to live? A black-faced man sneered and blocked Yemo's path. This was an immortal monarch middle stage. Yemo stopped. He knew he wouldn't be able to catch up. Martial Uncle Ji Shui, he said he had a friend at Wujia Sound River. He probably wanted to ask about this friend from Wuying Martial Ancestor. The pink-dressed female immortal explained. Yemo said heavily, That's right, Wuying Qianbei's disciple is my friend. So I want to ask her if my friend is at Wujia Sound River. Humph. Ji Shui Immortal Monarch sneered and looked at Yemo in contempt. Wuying Martial Ancestor wouldn't take anyone in for disciple. Are you dreaming? From what I know, Martial Ancestor Wuying never had a disciple. You don't need to ask. Yemo's eyes went cold and looked at the female immortal. What's going on? You said Xiaoyun was brought to Wujia Sound River by Wuying Qianbei. The female immortal was lost for words. She was scared of Yemo from the bottom of her heart. Now that Yemo asked, she could only say, I don't know if Xiaoyun is Martial Ancestor Wuying's disciple. I've only seen her once. Hearing this, Yemo was very worried. What good thing could an immortal emperor old monster do to an immortal ascension cultivator if it wasn't to take her in as disciple? you're asking to die. The immortal monarch saw Yi Mo's tone was getting rude and became furious. Yi Mo didn't have the mood to care which sect he was from. He hacked out Zisu and a 1-kilometer-long purple sword ray extended out. The rest of the immortals felt like that Yi Mo's sword had grabbed the nearby tens of km of space together. The rest of the immortals felt like that Yi Mo's sword had grabbed the nearby tens of km of space together. Looking at the force with which Yi Mo and the immortal monarch attacked, everyone even thought that Yi Mo was an immortal monarch and this Wujia Sound River immortal monarch was an immortal king. Ding Jia's eyes shot out gleams. He didn't even blink as he watched Yi Mo's strike. He had seen this strike. He was there when Yi Mo learned this strike at the Title Status Tower. This strike carried a blade that had this destructive chi that would tear apart everything. It seemed even more terrifying than Yi Mo's 3 space shatters. The nearby immortals immediately retreated after feeling the destructive chi from Yi Mo's strike. The feeling that Yi Mo's strike gave everyone was that if they retreated a little bit slower, they would be swept in by the strike and annihilated. Those immortal kings who saw Yi Mo fight with Kaimi just realized that Yi Mo didn't even use his magic artifact while fighting Kaimi. This was their first time seeing Yi Mo's magic artifact. It was an extremely ugly purple sword. When Yi Mo used Crevice, Ji Shui immortal monarch's face changed immediately. His green long sword with the green sword veil instantly separated under this strike and dissipated. His immortal monarch domain wasn't actually weaker than Yi Mo's immortal king domain. It completely crippled under the destructive chi of this strike. Crack, crack. The sound spread out. Yi Mo's runes seemed to be about to tear open the void and strike down from this immortal monarch's eyebrows. Rumble. In his desperation, Ji Shui immortal monarch's green sword turned into a green ray. Yi Mo's crevice chi gradually grew faint in this green ray. Splurge. It was the sound of flesh being cut open. Everyone held their breath. They were familiar with this sound. It was the sound of body about to cripple. Ji Shui immortal monarch was extremely shocked. Just when he wanted to use his trump card, he saw that 10-meter-long purple sword hanging above his forehead, but it stopped. If it continued to strike down, his body would have been cut in half. Even so, there was a long bloody mark on Ji Shui immortal monarch's forehead. Just one move, an immortal monarch middle stage lost to an immortal king. This was too terrifying. Just who are you? Ji Shui immortal monarch asked shakily. The nearby immortals took in a cold breath. This was their first time seeing such an absurd immortal king. Those immortal kings were even shaking. Only they knew that Yi Mo had already fought a heavy battle with someone far stronger. Ji Shui immortal monarch. Under such situation, Yi Mo could still subjugate an immortal monarch middle stage immediately. He was too terrifying. Yi Saint, who made her way over, also saw this move, but she knew Yi Mo's power just like Ding Jia. In her eyes, Yi Mo was bound to become a godlike figure. Yi Mo wouldn't even be afraid of immortal emperors in the future, much less an immortal monarch. Her eyes lit up. She had only parted from Yi Mo for a few years and his power increased many times. Who I am doesn't concern. I can let you go this time. Tell me about Xiaoyan. Otherwise, I won't be so polite next time, Yi Mo said coldly. Ji Shui immortal monarch took in a cold breath. Although he had many god arts he didn't use yet, he knew he was no match for Yi Mo even if he used them. You're a mere immortal king. Are you really going to fight Ween Sound River? Ji Shui immortal monarch said. Yi Mo waved his hand. Zisu fell back into the sheath. Then Yi Mo said coldly, if I was going to fight Ween Sound River you would be dead now. You just need to answer me if Mu Xiaoyun is still at Ween Sound River. Where is she? Take me to Ween Sound River to find her, and your business is over. Ji Shui immortal monarch said coldly. Even if you kill me I can't take you to find that Mu Xiaoyun. First, I've never seen her nor heard of her. Second, if was brought back by Wuyin martial ancestor, I can't enter the Wuyin peak where Wuyin martial ancestor lives. Yi Mo ignored Ji Shui and said to Ding Jia, Ding Jia, I'm going to find Xiaoyun. Where are you going? Of course with you. No matter how big of a sect Ween Sound River is, I believe they wouldn't stop you seeing your friend, Ding Jia said. Brother Yi, I'll go with you. Yi Saint flew over and said. Ji Shui, immortal monarch, sunk his face and said, Ding Jie, you're one of the most core immortal king of Qi He Emperor sect. Do you know what the consequence of going to Wujia Sound River is? Is your Qi He Emperor sect going to fight Wujia Sound River? And Yi Saint, you're the saint of Jiufan Immortal Pond, yet you call random man brother and you're also going to Wujia Sound River. Do you think we're easy to abuse? Ding Jie laughed. Ji Shui, immortal monarch, I'm respecting you by calling you immortal monarch. Wujia Sound River is indeed a big sect, much bigger than my Qi He Emperor sect. But is going with Emo to find his friend fighting Wujia Sound River? If you're really going to count that as fighting Wujia Sound River, I'll take it. There's nothing I'm afraid of. Your sect's name is big but not enough to scare me. Yi Saint said plainly. Brother Yi has helped me greatly. His business is my business. If Ji Shui Qianbei has to say that me saying Brother Yi is against the rules of Jiufan Immortal Pond, then you can go report me at Jiufan Immortal Pond. If my sect kicks me out, then I have nothing to say. Ji Shui, immortal monarch's face changed. If it was some other sect, his threats could suppress them, but Ding Jie and Zhang Tai are both from Emperor sections. Although they weren't as strong as Wujia Sound River, they couldn't be ignored easily. Plus, these two were the top-level sect members. They were the future of the sect. Emo patted Ding Jie's shoulder, but before he could say anything, Ding Jie laughed. Brother Yi, if you look down on me, North Time Immortal King, then don't let me go. Emo didn't want Ding Jie involved, but since he said this, Emo laughed. Okay, let's go Wujia Sound River together. I want to see how they won't let me take Shaoyan. Then, Emo released space-time boat. Ding Jie, let's go to Wujia Sound River. Emo didn't care about revealing his low-grade flying god artifact since he revealed his immortal king identity. He believed that he could protect himself even against the mortal emperor. He didn't need to be so fearful. Emo believed in Divine Emperor wouldn't come looking for his trouble for a low-grade god artifact. Seeing the three leave, Ji Shui, immortal monarch, sneered. Taking people from Wujia Sound River, are they arrogant or ignorant? Seeing Emo leave in space-time boat, many people were jealous and envious, but no one dared to go up to rob it. As the bluish-gray dimension was opened, many immortals flew out. Some immortal monarch and immortal king stayed and followed the immortal emperors. Emo, do you think that realm that suddenly appeared would be the realm that disappeared? Ding Jie asked. Saint Yi also looked at Emo. She had the same suspicion. I understand, Emo suddenly said. The two stared at Emo in confusion. Emo said something completely irrelevant. Shaoyun was later tested to be pure wood spirit root. She cultivated slow because of her cultivation method before. Later on she cultivated slow because she missed me a lot and didn't have the mind to cultivate. Ding Jie and Yi glanced at each other but didn't interrupt Emo's thoughts. They had guessed just how important Mu Shaoyun was to Emo. Spirit sense can't scan in at all. An immortal emperor primary stage came to the crevice where Emo was cultivating before and said, Spirit sense can't scan in at all. An immortal emperor primary stage came to the crevice where Emo was cultivating before and said, They were all immortal emperors, but none of them want to go in first, including Feng Kong and Blood River Grand Emperor. At this moment, an extremely dense immortal spirit chi came out of the black hole. Such dense immortal spirit chi? The immortal emperors glanced at each other. I'll go in first. As soon as Feng Kong Grand Emperor said this, the immortal emperors saw a blood color silently sweep past and go into the black hole. A blood spear, the essence spirit controlling it is very weak but is very experienced, he could even cheat us. Blood River Grand Emperor looked and said. Feng Kong Grand Emperor sneered and immediately got up, instantly dashing into this black hole. The rest of the immortal emperors saw this and all followed in. After another while, a few immortal kings arrived here too. However, these immortal kings were immediately swooped out by the black hole. Other than one, the rest of them were all torn to pieces. Wujia Sound River, it was the top sect in all of the entire Grand Heaven domain. Not even the Yu Heaven Lord dared to offend Wujia Sound River. 3 months later, Yemo's space-time boat had went in Yu heaven. A few days later, it appeared outside Wujia Sound River sect. Looking at the mountain range spanning a few 100,000 km, Yemo gasped. MOU Immortal sect was rather grand, but throwing it in the Wujia Sound River, it wouldn't even be seen. In the few 100,000 km of mountain ranges, the dense immortal spirit chi clouds circulated in the air, mixing with ordinary cloud, forming a scene of extreme beauty. Amidst the clouds, 4 golden words floated about, Wujia Sound River. The words could be seen no matter which direction you looked at it. Songs of extremely pleasing immortal music sounded from inside the ranges, rejuvenating people's soul and making them not want to leave. This is Wujia Sound River. It has 2 main peaks. The first main peak is Wujia Peak. The second main peak is the peak where the immortal music is coming from. It's called Sound River Peak. It's said that Wujia Sound River is created by Wujia Immortal Emperor and Sound River Immortal Emperor together. The 2 immortal emperors reached the extreme of cultivation and disappeared in pursuit of Tao vindication. Dingjia said. Brother Yi, Wujia Sound River has 4 immortal emperors now, other than Wuhua Immortal Emperor and Wuyin Immortal Emperor. There's 2 immortal emperor primary stage. They're Wuyu Immortal Emperor and Wuhui Immortal Emperor. Wuhua Immortal Emperor isn't at Wujia Sound River. No one knows where he went. Wuyin Immortal Emperor went to the New Realm, and shouldn't be back in a short while. But Wuyu Immortal Emperor and Wuhui Immortal Emperor are probably still here. Yi hesitated and said what was in her heart. Yemo knew what she meant and waved his hand. I'm no match for Wujia Sound River, I know that very well. But my wife is at Wujia Sound River. Even though I know I'm no match for them, I still have to see her. Xiaoyun is your wife? Yi was going to persuade Yemo to calm down, but hearing this, she immediately forgot her purpose. Yemo nodded. Yes, she's my wife. I haven't seen her for 100 years. Then Yemo looked at the grand Wujia Sound River and sighed. He wasn't dumb, he knew it probably wouldn't be easy trying to take Xiaoyun from there. If Wuyin Immortal Emperor was an ordinary person it was fine, but Wuyin Immortal Emperor was the second strongest in the second. How could she easily let go of someone she brought back? If Wuyin Immortal Emperor really took Xiaoyun to be her disciple, Yemo knew it was fine to leave her here for the moment, but he subtly felt that Wuyin didn't bring Xiaoyun back to be her disciple. Yemo had been in contact with some Immortal Emperor and even Divine Emperor. He knew that in the Immortal Realm, even an Immortal Emperor had limitations on his lifespan. If one couldn't vindicate Tao at the end of his life, he would have to give up his body and possess another one, beginning cultivation again. Who was to be sure that Wuyin Immortal Emperor didn't bring Mu Xiaoyun back for possession? If Xiaoyun really ascended, then she was definitely pure with spirit root. The immortal root it changed to would be extremely perfect too. On the way, Yemo had asked Yi and Dingjie about this Wuyin Immortal Emperor. He learned that she never had a Tao partner, and her age was very old. She was older than many dead immortal emperors. Other than this, it was also fabled that she was an immortal pill Grand Master. The immortal pill Grand Master in the immortal realm was different to cultivation realm pill king. In the cultivation realm, the fire spirit root was the best for pill concoction, but in the immortal realm, rare flames could be found elsewhere. The real immortal pill great masters all came from wood immortal spirit roots. That was Mu Xiaoyun. Yemo, Yi thinks that we should be polite first and try to avoid conflict. Dingjie said. Yemo smiled. If I was really reckless, I would have killed that Jishui immortal monarch. How can I let him live? I'll go knock. Dingjie saw Yi still in a daze, so he said. Yemo waved his hand. I'll go myself, you guys came with me. If something happened, you guys can get involved, but I don't want your sect to get involved too. Dingjie heard this and nodded. If he knocked first, it meant he was leading. If Yemo knocked them, it meant that they were just helping Yemo. Yemo stood before Wujia Sound River and said, Donghua Heaven MOU Immortal Sect Leader Yemo has come to visit. Then Dingjie said, Great Red Heaven Chihi Emperor Sect North Time Immortal King Dingjie has come to visit. Yi quickly said, Fandu Heaven Geo Fan Immortal Pond Saint John Tai has come to visit. Hearing this, Yemo was very grateful. He was just a low heaven domain sect leader. He didn't even have the right to talk before Wujia Sound River. Meanwhile, these two were different. No sect dares to ignore both of their sects at the same time, not even Wujia Sound River. Soon, they saw the sect mountain open. Two golden rays drew open and a beautiful immortal sound came from within. Moments later, an immortal king had come to greet. Behind him were tens of extremely beautiful female immortals standing on the rainbow cloud. Wujia Sound River welcomed the three immortal kings. It was a middle-aged immortal king. He looked very ordinary, but his smile seemed very genuine. This wasn't the top-level welcome, but for them three, it was rather respectful. After some greeting, the middle-aged immortal king led the way. Yemo and them soon went into the guest palace. The two sides were filled with people. It gave Yemo the feeling that Wujia Sound River already knew they were coming. The three immortal kings have come from a long way, lighting up and bringing honor to Wujia Sound River. I'm the sect leader Luli. An immortal and ethereal-looking man walked in here. Yemo could tell this Luli was immortal monarch tertiary stage. Yemo didn't feel it was strange that an immortal monarch was the sect leader of Wujia Sound River. Most sects were like this, the strongest person wasn't the sect leader. Luli was relatively polite to Yemo, but after everyone sat down, Luli didn't talk to Yemo first but smiled at Dingjie and Yi, asking them about Chihi Emperor sect and Jiufan Immortal Pond. It was as though Yemo was their follower. Even after that, he didn't ask about MOU Immortal sect. Yemo's face was calm and didn't show any anger. He came to take Xiaoyun away, not connect with Wujia Sound River. Yemo's face was calm and didn't show any anger. He came to take Xiaoyun away, not connect with Wujia Sound River. Dingjie couldn't resist saying, "Sect leader master, Yemo is my best friend, so I came with him this time. It's the same for Saint Yi." Yi got up and said, "Yes, Jixing Immortal Monarch Master, brother Yi came to your honored sect for some business." The two used different ways to avoid called sect leader, clearly showing their discontent. Jixing Immortal Monarch glanced at Yemo in confusion. He didn't expect a mere immortal king middle stage would have the capability to make Saint Yi call him Brother Yi. Jixing Immortal Monarch was very cunning. He immediately laughed. "MOU Immortal Sect Leader came visit my Wujia Sound River. It's a great joy. We welcome you greatly. Come, send up the immortal fruits and wine to greet the guests." With this, those female immortals on the side took out the wine and fruits, placing them on the tables. Yemo was very calm. This Jixing was very cunning. It seemed like he suddenly changed. His sentence made it seem like he not only was admitting wrong, and also showed how seriously he took Yemo now. It was as though him ignoring Yemo didn't happen at all. The only reason he did this was to verify how much Yi and Dingjie supported him. Yemo didn't care about the immortal fruits at all. He just got up and saluted with his fists. "Yemo, greet Jixing Immortal Monarch Master. I came to Wujia Sound River this time because I heard my wife Mu Xiaoyun was at your honored sect. So I came to take her away. Please fulfill my wish." "Mu Xiaoyun?" Jixing Immortal Monarch repeated in confusion. This time he was really confused. "Yes, Mu Xiaoyun." He came up to explain how Mu Xiaoyun was brought back by Ween Immortal Emperor, and was probably at Ween Peak now. "Martial Ancestor Ween brought her back?" Jixing Immortal Monarch dazed. If it was some ordinary disciple, he probably would have agreed on Dingjie and Yi's account. Dingjie and Yi's Immortal King title couldn't be seen at all on the Immortal King tablet, and news of this had long gotten out. Jixing Immortal Monarch also knew that their future would be far greater than his. Otherwise, he wouldn't be coming to greet them personally. But since this involved Ween Martial Ancestor, it was hard. Even he didn't dare to waste time at Ween Peak. This? Jixing Immortal Emperor hesitated and still said, "Sect Leader Yi, if Mu Xiaoyun was an ordinary disciple, I can make the decision, but she was brought back by Martial Ancestor Ween. I can't make the decision. I have to wait until Martial Ancestor Ween comes back." Yemo immediately said, "I'm very anxious. If Sect Leader really can't make the decision, I don't dare to trouble you, but it should be fine for me to just see her, right? Jixing hesitated again. To see her, one must go to Ween Peak. Martial Ancestor Ween wasn't here. Who would dare to go in? No, Martial Ancestor Ween isn't here. No one has the right to enter Ween Peak. Might be the sect leader, but I can't go in too. So I can't agree to your request. Jixing could only say. Yemo was very desperate, but he knew he couldn't force his way here. Sect leader master, I'm a low heaven domain sect leader, and in terms of cultivation level I'm also a Wanbei. I shouldn't be troubling you, but Xiaoyan is indeed my wife. If I don't see her, my heart really can't rest. Martial Ancestor Ween went to the New Realm. It's uncertain when she would come back. Wanbei wouldn't be able to wait till that time. Yemo tried to speak euphemistically. But before Yemo finished, a sneer sounded. How dare you? You're saying that you must see that Mu Xiaoyan. If we don't let you see, you're not going to go? As this voice sounded, a figure that made people unable to breathe appeared at this palace. Yemo took the forefront of the pressure and immediately retreated a few steps. Only now did people see an aggressive-looking youth in the palace. Jixing, greet Martial Uncle Wuhui. Jixing quickly bowed and said. The rest of the female immortals in the palace also bowed. Wuhui waved his hand to Jixing and stared at Yemo. Is that so? Yemo resisted against this strong pressure and said, Yes, I must see her. Ha! Wuhui Immortal Emperor laughed. A mere immortal king insect dares to act so cocky in front of me. I'm not going to let you see her. What are you going to do? Ding Jie and Yi almost couldn't take it when they didn't even face the pressure directly. One could imagine how much pain Yemo was in. Ding Jie quickly saluted with his fists. Chi-He Emperor Sect Ding Jie greet Wuhui Immortal Emperor Master, Yemo is Wanbei's. So what about Chi-He Emperor Sect? A little immortal king has no right to talk here. On Chi-He Emperor Sect's account, I want kill you, piss off. Then, Wuhui Immortal Emperor grabbed with Immortal Essence giant hand and Ding Jie was thrown out. Yi's face changed and got up too. However, she couldn't even speak and was thrown out as well. Seeing this, Yemo knew things weren't good. Wuhui then stared coldly. You're not bad, a mere immortal king, but you can injure my sect's immortal monarch. The Emperor shall see how strong you are. Then Wuhui grabbed towards Yemo. Yemo's heart sunk. He finally knew what was going on. This Wuhui Immortal Emperor didn't care about Mu Xiaoyun but cared about how an immortal king could beat an immortal monarch. If he was caught, he would be dead for certain. Realizing this, Yemo punched out without hesitation. Space shatter. Yemo used this at full power without hesitation. Immediately, 9 space-shattering storms formed. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Wuhui's immortal essence giant hand dissipated, but Yemo was struck back flying. He spat a mouthful of blood and broke out of the palace. Seeing this battle, Jixing Immortal Monarch's face changed. He saw clearly that even he couldn't stop Yemo's punch. He didn't know Yemo was this strong as he didn't receive news from Jishui Immortal Monarch. If he knew Yemo was this strong, he wouldn't suggest using the means that Martial Uncle Wuhui used. It wasn't easy for Wujiao Sound River to reach today. It was extremely dumb to offend someone with terrifying potential. If they could kill him it was fine, but if not, it would bring endless trouble to Wujiao Sound River. Wuhui didn't expect Yemo broke through his immortal emperor binding with one punch and charged out of the palace. No wonder Ji Shui was no match for you. You have some power indeed. Wuhui rejoiced. The stronger Yemo was, the bigger his secret was. He was also shocked Yemo could break through this palace. Its formation wasn't the best but was still a defense-shielding formation. If one didn't know formation, even an immortal emperor might not be able to break through it. This meant that first, Yemo was a good immortal formation great master. Another was that Yemo might be a powerful body refinement immortal, or he can't break the formation with his body. Martial Uncle Wuhui. Just when Wuhui Immortal Emperor wanted to charge out, Jixing Immortal Monarch called. You want to say this person has boundless potential, we shouldn't offend him before capturing him, right? Wu Hui Immortal Emperor said coldly. Jixing Immortal Monarch quickly said, Wise martial uncle. Seal the sect now. If I let a mere immortal king leave, I would be too useless. Wu Hui Immortal Emperor said coldly. Bastard. Ding Jia cursed outside the sect. Bastard. Ding Jia cursed outside the sect. He asked desperately, Ding Jia, what do we do now? As soon as she said this, there was a rumbling sound. The Wujia Sound River they could see with their spirit sense was now gone. Wu Hui, that old bastard, sealed the sect because he doesn't want Yemo out. We're too weak now, it's pointless worrying. Ding Jia felt helpless. Yi had calmed down now, she was also thinking desperately for a way. Ding Jia suddenly said, John Tai, we're friends with Yemo, right? Of course, without Brother Yi, I wouldn't be able to create my god art no matter what, and I wouldn't be able to get out of the title status tower and reach the top to write my name, Yi said without hesitation. Good, Ding Jia said and continued. It's useless even if we charge in with our current power, plus we can't even get in. The only thing we can do is ask our sect for help. There was a sliver of disappointment in Yi's eyes. Martial Brother Ding, I'm afraid this is very hard. Although I'm the saint of Geofan Immortal Pond, it's not because how strong I am but because my talent is high. Although my master is very nice to me, she might not be able to persuade the Immortal Emperor in the sect to help Brother Yi against Wujia Sound River. Your sect would probably be the same too. There was a sliver of absolution in Ding Jia's eyes. Even if you don't say it, I know. There's a 90% chance that the Immortal Emperor in the sect wouldn't come help Yemo. If Wu Hui kept us two there, it would be easier, but Wujia Sound River didn't touch us at all. Our sect has no reason to intervene. Martial Brother Ding, what do you mean? Yi looked at Ding Jia in confusion. Ding Jia said heavily, that Wu Hui wouldn't attack Yemo for no reason. The only reason is that he feels Yemo's cultivation speed is really fast and could easily beat Ji Shui Immortal Monarch. That's why he wanted to check Yemo's secrets. If I'm not wrong, Yemo is very dangerous in that formation. Then what do we do? Yi was also very desperate. Ding Jia said coldly, it's never late to get revenge. If I can't get my sect to help, then I will go to MOU Immortal Sect and protect the sect first. No matter if Wujia Sound River would attack Yemo's sect, I must go help. When I'm strong enough, I will help Yemo get revenge. If I can't get help too, I will go with you, Yi said. The difference in power was too great, it made them both feel helpless. The reason Yemo could break out of this palace was just as Wu Hui Immortal Emperor guessed. He saw the formation clearly, and used Immortal God Body to his advantage. In the first fight with Wu Hui Immortal Emperor, he knew he was completely no match for him. The difference between Immortal Emperor and Immortal Monarch was even greater than Immortal King and Great Eternity Immortal. If he stayed to fight, it would be certain death. When Yemo broke out of the palace, he used instant transmission immediately, but not towards outside but the inside. Since Wu Hui Immortal Emperor was attacking him, the formation must be sealed. Even if he was an Immortal Formation Grand Master, he wouldn't be able to break open the formation quickly. Of course, Yemo knew that no matter which direction he used instant transmission in, the space ripples would be noticed. So after one instant transmission, Yemo immediately hid himself and used instant transmission to go back before changing direction. Yemo knew clearly that no matter which direction he went, he wouldn't be able to hide it from Wu Hui Immortal Emperor. Wu Hui was only an Immortal Emperor primary stage, and he was this terrifying. If he encountered Immortal Emperor middle stage or even tertiary stage, he would be certainly dead. Yemo could only rest his hopes on his power stealth cultivation method. Wu Hui immediately caught the space ripples from Yemo's instant transmission and sneered. He has some power indeed. A mere Immortal King can instant transmission such a distance. No wonder he dares to come here. As he spoke, Wu Hui Immortal Emperor took a step and arrived at where Yemo was before. His smirk froze on his face. He couldn't feel the next space ripple. There was no way Wu Hui Immortal Emperor would believe a small immortal king could get away right under his eyes, but 5 minutes later, he realized he lost his target. Ji Xing! Wu Hui yelled coldly. Ji Xing immediately came up and said, Ji Xing, greet Marshal Uncle. Tell everyone in the sect about Immortal King to search for this person. He's definitely still in Wujia Sound River, and he has a powerful stealth cultivation method. Even I can't see through it. Hearing this, Ji Xing's face changed. He feared the most that Yemo would get away. What are you scared of? I don't believe a mere immortal king would be able to escape from my hands when he's in the formation of the sect. Wu Hui Immortal Emperor was very unhappy with Ji Xing's reaction and reproached. Yes, Ji Xing will immediately arrange it. Ji Xing Immortal Monarch was annoyed but had to agree. Wu Hui Immortal Emperor was the weakest immortal emperor in the Wujia Sound River and didn't reach Immortal Emperor for long, but his talent was very powerful. As an infinitely near level 7 Immortal Formation Grand Master, how could he not know that stealthing himself in the formation was dangerous? As soon as he got back to the guest palace, he carefully moved. Yemo just wanted to find a place to hide. It was impossible to leave Wujia Sound River now. Even if he could, he wouldn't leave. Xiaoyun was still here. Wu Hui stayed at where Yemo first went for 5 minutes. This time gave Yemo great help. He used this time to leave the guest palace and carefully move along another direction. 4 hours later, Wu Hui Immortal Emperor finally realized something was wrong. 4 hours had gone by and the entire sect was searching. Wujia Sound River seemed big, but it really was nothing when the entire sect was searching. I understand. Wu Hui came back to the guest palace and started searching carefully. He finally realized why Yemo was completely gone after the first instant transmission. Yemo definitely instant transmission back immediately. However, when he realized this, 4 hours had gone. Such a cunning bastard! Wu Hui Immortal Emperor cursed and pointed at the few Immortal Formation Grand Master and said, Watch the sect formation closely. If there's any signs, tell me immediately. Yes. The Immortal Formation Masters bowed. Yemo was far from the guest palace now. He carefully controlled his chi, not daring to release it at all. He didn't even dare to go into the Golden Page world. Although the Golden Page world could turn into a speck of dust, it wasn't safer than him stealthing himself. Against an immortal emperor, even the smallest speck of dust can be exposed. Luckily Wien and Wuhua Immortal Emperors weren't in the sect, or it would be really hard to say if he would be caught or not. You're tuning into the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.